And you should begin.
Welcome back.
Sorry.
Welcome back to Miss Modhur, sort of side game spin-off of Brian and Tide. Something of a prequel. Well, historical prequel. As previously, our group of, I don't know if heroes is the right word, survivors and
Ne'er do well.
instigators, unknowing instigators, uh, have been dealing with the fallout of being cogs in the plan from one of their possessed bosses that led to the undead invasion and fall of the populous Modhur city-states. The archipelago, once flourishing with life and jungles, now shrouded in mist, the living becoming the undead at the whims of a truly ancient Dracolich, one of the oldest draconic entities on this planet, now attempting to drink the very souls of the people of Modhur. Through machinations conducted with other powerful undead of various types, you have all discovered that the key piece that was required for it all, you all had a hand in returning to the city. An ice, an ice box, more of a coffin, really, of something within, taken from some strange distant glacier that it's not even, you can't even be sure if it's from this world or not. These dreams you see of this glacier, and now a voice whispering to you, furious and enraged. And through it all, you've dealt with banshees, ghouls, some undead vampiric threats, although the vampires seem to be keeping themselves in the shadows for the moment, waiting for their chance to strike at their prize. But as you've all defended the Temple of Saint Sanguisuga, you've managed to gather up survivors, protecting them from the undead, as well as some of you have a reunion as one of you has returned from the dead. And Grund, you met with someone from your past. Really discovering that Madame Shara, one of the heads of the Academy Necrotic, was one of the conspirators, but now betrayed by Nidhogg and furious, imploring you, or rather, charging you with ensuring that Nidhogg's plans are disrupted and that she gains some semblance of vengeance. For her soul, very soul is cursed to be tattered once she dies and lost to the mist. Through interrogating the soul of the matriarchs, the Ettercap necromancer seemingly at the right claw of Nidhogg, discovered that his planned lair was to be the Temple of Axis, where he would bring the ice coffin to be the final piece of a device called the Embaru generator, the self-generating mist that shrouds and traps the souls of Modhur. And after doing some recon, you discovered one of the smaller ectoplasmic condensers, a linked device responsible for collecting the stray trapped souls of the living and condensing it down into a type of nectar. The the end goal of Nidhogg, it seems. One of the end goals. But disrupting it after Erdrin led a pack of undead on quite the goose chase. Uh, Little blue blur running through the city. Uh, and managed to inspect one of these condensers and destroy it, seeing how when you shattered it, the mist that it was pulling in and condensing exploded outwards, shrouding and allowing your escape unhindered, much to the confusion of the Ettercaps that were maintaining and tending to it. And I believe that's where we left off with the rest of you, with everyone rushing back off to the temple to plan, as you have a semblance of a goal. Captain Quintus Hollow of the Broken Revenge. JJ, you know him to be the previous hook of the previous god of death, or at least one of his hooks. And in his eyes, the one who is supposed to become the next god of death. Slighted, it seems that this whole event of just capturing and denying souls their final rest as an act of petty revenge against the new god that has charged you with ending his cruelty. And by fleeing the by freeing the waters, those that live within Modhur still may be able to escape beyond these shores to others. But these are the final days of Modhur. There was almost no hope for survival. This is how you died. So, we begin the next day, or it would be that evening after after you checked out the condenser built around one of the many fountains of the city, one of the biggest, closer ones to the temple. Um, so yeah, you've made that discovery. Can't remember exactly where we left off, but yeah, you're back at the temple. What do you want to do? It seems to be mostly quiet for now. The undead have seems to be in between their constant waves that persist throughout the day and night, thanks to the mist protecting them from the sun.
Seems like the best time to strike.
You need to get rid of that boat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, if anybody's gonna get out of here, yeah.
It's
Now,
like the what? Like the spurned X or whatever?
Kitty,
the broken revenge.
Yes. Cheetah was being dismissive of him as a person.
Mm-hmm. Oh, also, you did meet Captain Thorpe, the branch elf, who is the one who commanded the ship, the Cockatrice, that guided you to the Sun's Pride, the crashed ship. And he is also having the nightmares of the glacier. And he's the one who came to you telling you of the ship and the strange undead, perhaps ghostly whale seemingly under control of Quintus Hollow. And oh yeah, he would say that, he would have warned you that it would probably take time to get everyone down to the docks and onto ships to escape, because loading up people and selling, that takes time, and especially getting a decent amount of people across the city in dangerous times like this, that will take some doing. But he also warns that that the ships should try to be ready to sail once you destroy the blockade, the ghost ship. Deal with that, because who knows when Nidhogg could arrive and wipe out the fleets from the air.
Yeah, they need to be gone by the time he comes home.
Yeah, just something to consider. You need sending the survivors should probably happen right after, like immediately after you take out this guy. I'm just pointing that out as a DM as for consideration.
Which means coordinating.
Plus, attacking one of the leaders of the undead coalition would probably be a good distraction.
Yeah.
Not to give too many hints away.
Yeah. If we're going to people need to be moving and already waiting to go by the time we actually move on the ship.
So.
And I will say, Kita, if you talk to your brother, he could get the priests and stuff, and the surviving naval soldiers to get the people ready. So I'm just saying, you all don't have to worry about that if you go in and inform them. they'll start getting ready to move. Just keep things easier on you guys.
Yeah, she'll inform her brother that they're planning to take out the ship. Excuse me.
Yeah, he's pretty tired too, but he'll say, he'll tell them like, all right, we'll tell them to get ready to move. When you say it's ready.
You know
And
what? You need to get ready to. You know what we need to get ready for. On top of that.
that was the unspoken part. Kind of gives like a chuckle, pat you on the shoulder. Don't worry, I've been thinking hard about this. I think I have a plan.
All right.
So, um, shoot, I'm floundering in this aquatic game. So, yeah, you're probably not too, I'm not saying it's a bad idea, but you probably don't want to go attack him right now since the civilians are still needing time to prepare. So, you have time to rest and prepare and make plans if you want, or if there's other stuff in the city that you wanted to check on.
Might be the time to look around to see if there's any other surviving holdouts.
Because if, like, looking at the map, just saying, like, possible places that there might be survivors, Grand Marketplace was hit pretty hard.
The academy was toppled.
Yeah, the Academy Necrotic was overrun and now occupied territory. From what you heard of Madame Shara, it is being webbed heavily by the necromancers there. The Academy Arcane, that was raided and burnt down. But the Emberbright Forge, because that is the temple to Yemgrid, the orc goddess of forging. There's a chance that might still be intact. And pretty far off and probably not going to be able to get there, I'm just saying. But and probably the only other place that's like a significant oh wait, no, that place got heavily bombarded. I was going to say the fort, but yeah, I forgot.
That was the center of the Navy.
Yep, yeah, that got wiped out with the Navy. So, and yeah, the Temple of Axis, that's deep in enemy territory. So actually, yeah, okay, there are places that pretty much have been wiped out. Whoops. And that's not counting places on the outskirts, like Urgent, I'm sorry, but like the halfling settlements, you're pretty sure you're not going to be able to get out to them.
No, probably not.
Out in the jungles. But,
there's probably a lot of supplies left behind in the shopping, in where all the shopping gets done.
And if people are going to be sailing, they'll need sailing supplies.
And, we might find, things like potions or spell scrolls that could help us on our mission.
So what I'm hearing is we take a direct path through the city.
Try a scavenging run.
Yeah.
I ain't got no problem with it.
Now, do you want to do this now at night or in the morning? The mist still, blocks out the sun, but the undead are less active during the day, just, by their nature. Or at least most of them are.
Well, that's the thing. Do we want to conserve our strength for fighting the captain, or do we want to risk a run through the city at night? See what we can get.
Maybe a run through the city at night. It's going to be dangerous, but we didn't expend too much stuff with the breaking of the fountain.
Yeah.
hopefully get some supplies, and then we can get back and rest. Even if we head out to take care of the captain later in the day tomorrow, we've still got, at least gotten some rest and now supplies.
Hmm.
And one of you even has a bag of body holding.
I mean, any bag can be a bag of body holding if you work hard enough.
Just have to
Got the
compress.
hacksaw.
Gotta
Okay,
compress those
Dexter.
bodies. Squish them down a little bit.
Oh god, like that scene in Castlevania where Trevor's trying to shove the big bruiser into a barrel, and he's just like, "Oh, legs don't bend that way normally. Oh well, I guess I'll just keep doing it."
They'll bend it like that if you push hard enough.
But so yeah, trying to think you'll do a scavenging run tonight then.
I wouldn't mind.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, the most direct route would be taking the main roads. You do need to, crossing the river. You do need to take the bridges, but might be safer for Oh, wait. I shouldn't be giving hints like that. I'm just saying. Okay, I'll just point out the roads you'll be exposed. The main roads you'll be exposed, but you can get there faster possibly if you're lucky, and you will need to go take the main bridges to cross unless you want to swim across, or it's slower but possibly more discreet to go take the back roads and alleys. Or you can try going rooftop again, part way like you did last session. But you do have to watch out for the bone collectors, as you saw.
Yep. And especially since those bone collectors can... I got lucky last time, but those things can just know that where I am, no matter how stealthy I am. If I get too close.
Well, normal undead. I'm not saying you're immune, but that would be really unfair. I mean, there's already banshees that can detect the living up to a mile.
True.
Which is
but
how
still, would not
when
push
you were
luck.
when you were stealthing like Grund, you're probably the one who realized this because you're the one who knows undead stuff. But that banshee that was possessing Vithilna, she knew you were all on the rooftops or hiding when you first spied on her. She knew you were following.
We still got the jump on her, so
literally.
You knew we were there, and you got ambushed anyways. Fucking fail.
Well, either that or whoever is holding the body didn't really care about the state of the body.
Well, if the body's gone, it's much easier to kill the banshee.
Yep. It's
Yeah,
just
but
that
that's a whole
body's your old
body's
boss.
worth of protection.
Also,
Not after
don't
the
forget,
ambush. Sorry.
it was just Vithilna, your old boss, not even the banshee, that took out JJ the first time before he was brought, healed briefly.
Yeah. JJ
yeah,
was
that's
a
something.
rogue.
Yeah,
So-
that's something to watch out. She has very powerful poison weapon. Yeah. So, how do you want to do this? Rooftops, main road, or alleyways?
Rooftop's still safer than most places.
Yeah, it is the slowest, but it is probably the most discreet.
Yeah, rooftops.
And we shall act as Spider-Man.
To avoid the Spider-Man.
Look, if
And-
they don't post scouts on the roofs, that's their problem.
Well, it's funny you say that. Well, it will be funny. Let's roll some stealth checks. Group stealth check, everybody.
Okay, Erdrin.
Alright, Kita, come on.
God damn, Joshua.
It's almost like he's good at this.
Oh, he natural 20'd it as well.
I know.
Jesus Christ.
JJ's turned into Batman just jumping across the roofs.
He's an undead in the shadows.
Well, alright.
Well, so I'm just gonna say, 2 natural 20s definitely helped you out, Grunt.
That's good.
Kloop is gonna
Yeah,
stay
that's not
behind.
bad.
You know what? If you go to, like, you almost fall or something, and you just get telekinetically picked up and sat carefully back down.
Yeah, you got the ring.
I keep forgetting I have the ring, but yes, I have the ring.
Yep. So yeah, there are moments where you don't even have to. That might be part of your stealth. You just kind of levitate yourself across the iffy bits.
Yeah.
So you
Now save
Get-
Grund.
yeah. Grand Kloop, because like before, he's gonna stay behind to help with the defenses, just because he's an armored ghoul. He's not one of the leaping, like the packs of ghouls that you've seen scrambling across the rooftops.
Mhm.
But so yeah, there's a moment where you start to fall and you're just like, oh, I should have brought Kloop with me. He would catch me before you're caught. And you see Kita maneuvering you telekinetically. So you have that little bit of a slight to your. You have that slight to deal with.
Mm.
But yeah, slipping through the rooftops. And this ambience is quieter than I thought it was. Yeah, whatever. So slipping through the rooftops, you go, and funny enough that you made the jokes about lookouts, as you get further away from the temple, you do actually follow up the stealth with some perception checks. Either one person or 2 people. You know, someone with advantage or 2 people rolling once.
I have a pretty good perception.
I haven't done that in a while.
I'll give you advantage because I'm also good at that shit.
17.
I say rolling low.
Yeah, it
Okay.
happens.
It's still enough to keep an eye out, and you do spot, bone collectors swooping through the mist, as well as some other undead birds. Actually, you do see like a few. Like at one point, you have to duck into cover because you hear this beating of wings, and you look up as they fly overhead, as you see what looks to be a small patrol of zombified or undead albatrosians. But
That's a
they
terrifying.
pass by without seeming to notice you. And
I'm
More
not
than
haunted
once.
by the idea of an undead pelican.
yeah, watch out for those.
Put baby in pelican mouth.
Put everything in pelican mouth. But there's a bag of holding out there in this world shaped like a pelican's beak. But so yeah, and there are a few points where JJ, you have to stop the group as you see the occasional pack of ghouls scramble up the rooftop, kind of perching on the edges of like grotesque, or some go darting off when they hear a scream in the distance or something else draws their attention. And it is those were 2 natural 20s, and the rest of you did roll really well. So you actually proceed faster than you thought you would by taking the rooftops, managing to slip between, as the rooftops of the city, they're fairly cluttered. A lot of people have, like patios on the top, or, people go to the top where there's
Gardens.
water collectors, rooftop gardens, that kind of thing. And actually, speaking of rooftop gardens, you do gather a bit of food of like from rooftop gardens. So, um, you actually can stash away some of the food, like some of the rooftop gardens people have had, but good amount of citrus it seems. So that's useful. Anyways, getting to the bridge, you've managed to uh, completely avoid detection. Now the bridges are going to be a different matter. That's going to require a different check as well. Um, you can try to sneak across them. They are probably guarded, or you can try to swim across them. So, in areas that you would know that are a little more calmer. The river's not like raging white rapids going through the town, but there are parts where it's more difficult to swim through it. It used to be considered you could get some pretty heavy fines for swimming in the river if you're caught.
I don't think people care right now.
I don't think
Yeah.
the cops are around.
Or if they are, they want to eat your bones.
So normal cops.
Uh,
Wow.
but so how do you want to handle this one? Or there's also like you could find like you could either swim or try to cross it with like there are like little gondolas and stuff, or not gondolas. What are the Venice boats?
Fuck, what are they called?
And what
I think they're
Gomez
called
has.
gondolas?
I thought gondolas would hang down from a dirigible.
I think it's the same word being used for different things.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
because
it seems they're called
yeah,
gondolas.
it would have been a boat. Yeah, because then they would have hung boats down from the bottom of Zeppelins, right? Okay. So yeah, there are like little gondolas or like little boats like that that you could probably find and to try to slip across.
Well, Erdrin can probably give us pass without trace to help with the sneaking past.
I can, yeah.
You think the mist would provide enough cover for us if we tried to get across the river?
Yeah, because that's one thing I hasn't really been brought up in combat because it's either been in places that are indoors or areas where combat's been close enough. But yeah, visibility drops off at like 60 feet, or you're lightly obscured and then heavily obscured after like 50, 60 feet.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the things about it is you'll be going, think you're alone, and then all of a sudden a group of zombies will shamble out of the mist.
Mm-hmm.
But
so us trying to use the mist to our advantage could just as well backfire against us too.
yeah, and, it would. That's what I'm saying. You'll be. It's whatever manages to get close will have a chance to possibly see. That's the thing.
Yeah.
But the river's wide enough that you'd be able to cross it without immediately being spotted by someone on the other side.
Alright.
I don't know what our problem is.
Try to go over the bridge or across the river using some abandoned boats.
How far across is the river?
100 feet.
Okay.
It's a fairly wide river that goes through it.
Yeah.
Not like River Thames kind of big, but close.
Are they, is the bridge being patrolled from end to end, or is it just guards at each end?
You'd have to, be there to tell. Whoa,
Ooh,
Whoa.
it exploded.
bombs.
Right.
But I mean, JJ can probably scout that out as mist.
That's true. Hang on, let's put Kloop.
You'll leave everyone to puzzle that out.
Isn't
while he
Kloop not
goes
with us?
investigate.
I'm just using Kloop as the token to indicate where
Oh.
people are.
It's
Now,
almost as if you're
I
leaving
could
Grunt vulnerable to attack.
I could move the boats pretty silently
Doing the
with
best
my
method.
ring. Yeah. But that is still a boat that's going to be somewhat visible at least.
Pass without trace will help us.
Oh shoot, did I not
Yeah.
add that map? Hold on. Might be in another folder. Sorry, muttering to myself.
No, you're good. It's just depending on if like the bridge is being patrolled from end to end, or if there's just guards on each end. It's easier to sneak past guards at each end than trying to skirt past a patrol.
Yeah.
I'll go and investigate that then.
Okay.
Let's make a decision.
Then independent stealth check for you.
Yay! Magic item, don't fail me.
29, damn. So yeah, JJ quite literally melts into the mist as he disappears, leaving you alone as on some rooftop as you occasionally in the distance you hear a scream or like the howl of some ghoul pack. But or even the scream of a banshee somewhere. Occasionally, Krill, since you're always on the alert for this, occasionally you'll hear on the wind like a distant song of the banshee choir. But the JJ, as you slip through the mist, quite literally becoming the mist, you get to the bridge, and it's probably the biggest, most elaborate bridge within the city. Like the center one here, it's
next to
the biggest
vault,
one.
so
Yeah, and it's the one that connects the Grand Marketplace to the causeway, and it's the one coming up from the Narrows. So
we're talking a big fancy bridge.
Yeah, it's like this one would be smaller, as well as the waterfall bridge would be smaller, because as you get to this one, it is teeming with undead. You see zombies, both normal and husk, kind of shattering or scrambling around. You see several what looks standing guard. You see a pair of like ogres, an ogre zombie and a skeleton each, just standing there with weapons and large shields that look they might have been barn doors or just large doors or tables. And they're standing there as you see whites, you see a banshee float by before disappearing into the mist. This place is heavily fortified. At least this main bridge is.
Yeah, this is one of the main thoroughfares of the city. It makes sense for them to keep an eye out.
And actually, you see perhaps why they're there as well, because right near where this right in the center of this plaza where the end of the bridge is, there is a pretty large fountain, and that has a condenser there as well. And where you see Ettercaps, tending to it.
All right.
This one's slightly bigger than the one you had disrupted, but the construction's bigger, but the shard of ice is about the same size.
That's enough information for me.
So
You'll slip back, vault back over the railing.
yeah, and
There's no getting through that. We'll have to go
yeah,
around.
there was. Sorry, I cut you off.
You were saying?
I was just one little detail I meant to include when you're traversing the city is you do see the occasional building or like alleyway that has been webbed up. as you see ettercaps either inside or move like crawling across it, seemingly getting their like staking claim of like what they want in the city.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. You'll just report that. There's no getting through. We'll have to go around.
Yeah, it's either one of the other two bridges or attempt to cross the river yourself. And
Right.
I'll just say, JJ, from when you went there, you looked at like the river's edge. There are undead, because there's undead everywhere, but it's nowhere near as heavy a presence as at the bridge.
We could deal with one or two, like a Lacedons. I'm not taking on an army.
Well, I know I can get across just swimming myself, but
Also, I think like 3 of the 5 of you can breathe water or don't need to breathe. Because Kita and Krill, you can swim, you can breathe fresh water
Oh yeah.
and salt water.
so do you want to try one of the other bridges, or do you want to just like take one of them boats and hope we don't get spotted on the water?
I think the only one who needs a boat is Grund.
Mm-hmm.
Again.
Hmm.
I mean, if you want to leave me behind so I'm safe, that's fine too.
Oh,
I
no,
can
you
just
don't.
carry.
You're the
Safe
hero of
alone.
this story,
Water.
Grund. You have to be right in the heart of the action.
No,
Get
it's
right
for the
on-
ratings.
Yeah.
You could ride on Krill's back, technically, I think.
Well, I
Well-
was thinking Krill could actually be paddling alongside the boat, keeping an
Uh-huh.
eye.
I had a thought. We could, like, put a hole in the bottom of the boat, flip it over, use telekinesis to keep it, on the water, so people just see a damaged boat floating around and just go, oh, it's just something that got fucked up during the rampage.
Well, something.
You
we
can try
just
that.
hide. You just hide under the boat, or
Well,
at
the
least
Pirates of the
hide.
Caribbean, where you have a little air pocket.
Well, we don't walk across the bottom because that's not gonna fucking work. But
No.
Yeah, when I saw that, even as a
Run.
kid, I'm like, how heavy
Well-
are those two guys that they could hold that down like that?
we stuff an anvil in their pocket. What the hell?
I mean, he was a blacksmith, so you never know.
Goddamn player weight.
I mean, that's kind of how they did diving. Like, that was some of the original diving bells. They just heavily weighted upturned boats for the pockets.
Yeah. Just say we could just like put a hole in the bottom of the boat, have it float upside down, so people just see a broken ass boat. And you can just hide Grund under it so he can breathe.
Whatever
He'll
it
just
takes.
be a wet, pissy mess on the other side.
One thoroughly soaked necromancer later.
He has prestidigitation. He'll be fine.
So,
Cool.
what's the plan? Or which plan are you all going for?
Do we want to risk a smaller bridge, or do we want to go across the water?
Hmm.
We don't
Yeah.
know what
I
the
think-
state of the other bridges are going to be.
We are trying to get people along this path, right?
Well, with a army like that, there's no feasible way we could break through.
I was mean maybe look for another. If we looked at the other, I'm trying to
Bridges,
call
yeah,
them
that's
ramps.
true.
Holy shit, bridges. We might find a better way to shepherd, 100
Oh.
people or however many we have at
Um,
those.
So the cockatrice is docked here. So they were thinking that they would take the most direct route down this way from the temple. You guys are going west to the marketplace as a scavenging run for
Okay,
supplies.
no, never mind. then we don't really need to reconnaissance. We just need to get across.
If there are people who are still holding out of the forge, well, I'm sorry, but the best way through is kind of fucked.
Yeah. Well, they could also just like go down this way to get to the docks.
Yeah.
Depending on if
We'll
that's
just have to let them know. We don't have
or
to
flee
necessarily
into the
guide
garden
them.
slums.
Yeah, no, I'm fairly certain the slums are overrun.
Yeah, JJ's probably not wanting to go there,
Probably.
huh? Oh wait, no, he doesn't remember that part of his life.
Yep, no. He wouldn't be able to tell you the street you grew up on. That
Yep.
shit's down the toilet.
Old Three Eyes took his bite.
Alright,
So,
let's get across the water.
so
Yeah.
pretty easy to find boats. You don't even have to do a roll for it. But I will need a perception check for the timing of it to like make sure you can get a boat, do what you need with it, and slip into the water without anyone noticing.
Want me to
And
give
stealth checks.
You want me to give you advantage again for the perception?
Sure.
You've got one higher than I do, so.
Oh, hot damn! You see everything.
In fact, I see things I wish I didn't.
Yeah. And actually, so now I need group stealth checks.
Okay. I will turn on Pass Without Trace. 'Cause why not?
God damn.
Good.
Grund.
It's a 14, but it is a natural one, so.
Why did I bring all these tin cans with me?
Common problem in zombie survival. You know,
And
one
why
man
did
in
I
your
fill
inventory.
them with beans?
God.
Well, shouldn't have eaten Taco Bell before heading out.
So, as Grund, how happy are you about this idea of the underside of a flipped up boat inside the river?
Grumbling, I imagine.
Not.
So, yeah, it's very cold water. It's nighttime and the river's naturally cool, but the area has been significantly colder and as the days progress thanks to the constant mist and blocking out the sun as well as the icy nature of it. Supernaturally cold. So yeah, doesn't take long. Grund, you're cold and miserable. Rest of you, it's cold. Varying degrees of miserable. JJ, you're beyond the care. Kita and
What is
Krill,
cold?
Kita and Krill, you're just fine. It's like, yeah, chilly, whatever.
It's under the water. It's always cold down here.
So, Wilbur, he is stuck to the underside of the boat like a cockroach, staying way away from the water.
Oh.
Urgent, he can, giant bugs. Like I always think, it would be stupid that they just have open spiracles. Giant bugs, they have a valve that they can hold their breath. Why not? So yeah, Urgent can, like a water beetle can go into the water. He just doesn't like it.
I don't.
So you're going along, and Grund, there is a moment where your old man grip fails you as you're hanging onto the board, like the seat that would go across it, as you splash and thrash a bit before like Urgent grabs you and Krill like repositions you, but you're sputtering and JJ, the thrashing as you're swimming around, you realize has attracted attention as you see it long before the rest. Because under the water, your vision is actually, you can see further underwater than above in the mist. As you see what looks to be a pair of aquatic ghouls start responding to the thrashing and start moving your direction. But you saw them long before, and your stealth is incredibly, you know, high, so they don't even notice you as you can get up right to them if you want to take them out.
Hmm.
Do a sneak attack.
Yay!
Snipe attack.
Yeah, 23 hits. Yeah, you. Yeah. How do you take out the first one? Because that is with enough damage to take it out.
Yeah, it's just a very simple slashed throat.
Yeah, as you kind of zip up out of the darkness at the bottom of the river, slicing up its, slicing its throat, and the second one, make your other attacks. No sneak attack, but 15 hits. They're just ghouls.
Oh, would he be close enough for the necrotic detonation?
Yes, actually, there would be like a little psychic depth charge. 14.5. Ooh, just barely standing. Do you have your short sword?
I can use I can burn one of my coins for because after I use a sneak attack, I can roll half of my sneak attack damage and deal necrotic to them.
Okay. Yeah, because this thing's barely standing, so yeah, that would be enough to tip it over the edge. As Krilla and Kita, you're the ones who probably noticed this. Like, oh, like after you help, after Grun's like repositioned and resecured, he's like panting and sputtering. You like Krill, you and Kita like look around. It's like, wait, where'd JJ go? There's just this flash of movement off on the edge of your vision. Is yes, there's thrashing and then that like eerie ectoplasmic detonation that lights up the form of JJ thrashing with another figure, and then JJ just calmly swims up to you, eyes kind of glowing in the water.
Yeah,
Terrifying. Thank
I
you.
used a coin to kill that thing, and I can use a reaction to get a coin back.
Yep. Take a penny, give a penny.
Yep.
So, yeah, JJ, you managed, thanks to that crit and absurd stealth, didn't have to do combat because you were able to silence the Lacidons before they could alert anyone. So, it is other than that, mostly uneventful passage across the river. You get to the other side, and it does take you a bit to find a suitable location where it looks abandoned enough that you could slip out, or there's a few false starts where you start to climb out before JJ have to usher them back down as other undead shamble past, or there's a sound of something swooping overhead. But thankfully, it seems the rivers, other than that pair of ghouls, fairly silent for the moment. They might be on land hunting, but slipping out onto the docks on the other, or like the small little riverside docks on the other side, you are now in the market. You're on the edge of the market.
Woo.
Excellent.
You'd be actually closer to here. You can see the Dragon's Vault Bank in the distance. It's one of the taller buildings on the edge of the marketplace. But, yeah, you are now in the Grand Marketplace, somewhere none of you have been since before the mist had shrouded the place. And because all of you have spent, before this, fairly good amount of time within Kolezar, it is eerie seeing it so dark and quiet. even in like the late night, there were lights and laughter of like open taverns and eateries and you know entertainment venues, you know, clubs and such. But now it is just dark and
Yeah.
dead.
Even at the slowest times, this place is always bustling, and now it's dead silent.
Not dead silent. You hear the occasional like distant sound of something being knocked over, like the groaning of undead or the chattering of ghouls in the distance.
The quiet of
So,
the dead, then, not silence.
mhm.
The quiet dead.
But yeah, we
Honestly,
could
from
keep
like
going.
a zombie like movie perspective or zombie fiction, I think completely silent zombies would be so much scarier than zombies that are like all the time.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Then they can sneak up on you.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Like proper predators.
Yeah, what's that thing? If a big if a predator if you can hear a predator, you're not its prey.
Hmm. I think the best thing we can do is try to find stores of hardtack. Like stuff that's really nutritious and keeps well for however long the survivors will have to sail.
Yeah.
Mhm. And that's actually one thing.
Why?
That was one of the big things for Modhur's exports is uh, it actually exported a lot of food because the jungles are so lush and they've actually like further to the north of this city, like where they're like on the riverbanks, there are like farmlands, but and orchards and stuff, but those are probably taken over. So
Yeah.
they're you know you will be able to you're pretty confident you'll be able to find stores of food if it hasn't been gone bad or been taken already by hopeful survivors.
Yeah, anything
We
that is
should
on display has
absolutely.
been exposed to the elements for a few days, so I wouldn't bet on like fruit.
I don't know. It's
Yeah.
a fridge. It's been chilled.
True.
Yeah. There are.
But let's do some investigating.
Where are you saying, Nora?
Sneeze. Sorry. While I agree that hardtack is a good thing to take, it shouldn't be the priority because it's actually not very nutritious.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean to
it's
say
filling.
It keeps.
hardtack and other things
Yeah,
is what I meant to say.
Yeah.
sailing
It
provisions.
keeps. Yeah, it keeps, but it's not good.
Yeah. Um. So yeah. Now
Investigation
just
rolls, I suppose.
well, first for before that, stealth another group stealth check because you have to be quiet as you go through this.
Okay.
Good point.
You keep rolling 31s for your stealth.
I've still got pass without trace up, by the way, so which is good.
Oh,
Yeah. Thankful, Kita. Thank Krill for negating your crit fail.
thank you, Krill.
Yeah, those kind of balance each other out.
Yeah.
So Grund, stealth check, please.
Don't fuck this for us.
Oh, yeah. It's D&D
But you
5
do have a
edition, so I'm kind of fucked no matter what. It's not like I can actually choose like skills to level up as levels progress. So you get a 10. You get a fucking 10. Enjoy the 10.
well 20.
20.
20 actually
It's a
because
20,
Urgen's
DC,
using
so
passive.
yeah, you did good.
Yeah,
Jeez.
congrats. You got a 20.
No, congrats. You got a 20.
Fucking Grund is grumbling the whole time.
So, okay, so it seems that there's going to be a focus on searching for food and provisions. Now this is the Grand Marketplace. This place is,
Big.
when it was active, it was loaded. This place was the center of commerce for city and Motor. Like when people from the other city states wanted to, like bring their stuff, they would come here. So there's a lot of stuff you could possibly find here. So beyond provisions, what are some of your other focuses?
Magical items, if possible.
Same.
Po- potions or uh, spell scrolls.
Okay. Okay, then who wants to lead the investigation? And who wants to keep a
Not me.
lookout?
BRB.
Might have to wait
Keep a
for.
lookout.
No.
Hmm?
No, you should have investigate. You have a high int.
In case rolls need to do come up, feel free to look at my character sheet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't have a very good intelligence, so I'm not good at investigating, so.
Yeah, Grun, this may be up to you.
I can give aid!
I was gonna say, you're wow, roll 20 is
Ooh.
being hilarious tonight with Grund.
Also roll
Well,
20.
also it's D&D 5e. You can be good at maybe 3 things. Everything else, you fucking suck.
We can look at other games to get into.
It's just no. I'm
So,
So who wants to keep a lookout? JJ again? Should I roll for him?
Yeah, JJ should look.
yeah, because I gotta help. I said I was gonna help Grunt look.
And back.
Oh.
Okay, then you can roll.
What was it? Perception?
Yeah, to keep a lookout. Jeez.
Fuck.
Yeah. One of the 3 good things JJ's good at is perception, apparently. So, yeah, you go through, thankfully with the Pass Without a Trace and the ever observant undead eye of JJ, you manage to avoid what seems to be roaming packs of undead, husk zombies picking through looking for anything to eat, as well as ghouls. Occasionally, you notice that like there are almost look like patrols, like military patrols or like night watch patrols of zombies and skeletons marching in formation, but more just seem to be going on like a predetermined route, like they've just been set on patrol and then left to go, but managing to keep out of sight and hearing of those. You go and raid several. You thanks to Grund pointing out. You manage to find several food stalls and areas where the provisions were kept, and actually, Grund, you point out that it's like, oh, that warehouse or that little warehouse, that should be it. It looks like it's fully locked up, and with JJ either lock picking or just misting inside to unlock the door from the inside, you managed to find what looks to have been what was going to be a shipment of ship's provisions that was probably going to get ready to be shipped out either that night or the next day when the night of mist happened. So you managed to find a good amount of supplies. You can stuff them into bags of holding. We'll say, you know what? We'll just say that when you told your brother Kita that you're going to go on a supply run, he asked around, and someone at the temple, like either a survivor or one of the other priests, was able to give you another bag of holding. So you've got 2 bags of holding at your disposal. But, so you managed to stuff in several crates worth.
Held.
What?
Consider the bags held.
Yeah. Don't put the bags in the bags. That leads to violence.
Yeah.
Don't do it, new dog. Don't tempt me.
That's how we
Um,
get rid of
I'll
it.
send us both to the astral plane. I'm crazy.
It's
that
not like I
might
can.
that might be
I mean,
that, depending on what you send to the astral plane, that might end up creating bigger problems down the road.
Mhm.
none of
Yes.
us would
Yeah.
be able to die there. Unless, we got eaten.
So it's just JJ's entire existence.
Yeah. But we'd technically be alive.
But yes, we find food stores and what else thanks to Grund?
Yeah, you find a decent supply of food stores, and actually part of it was you do find what looks to be like a crate full of citrus fruits, freshly picked, and actually the ice is now melted, mostly melted, but it looked like it was packed in with like normal frozen ice for the long term shipping. But
There's
you know,
also some Werther's originals in there because I'm obscenely old.
oh yes, of course. I mean that is hard. That is like wizard hardtack.
They just appear around old people. They just manifest if you're old
Yes.
enough.
Spontaneous generation only works for Werthers.
That's why there's the old man smell. It's a byproduct of the Werther's creation process.
Oh God. Yeah, I need to take that into account. The ghouls might be able to.
I mean, honestly, I think my smell probably helps disguise us more than anything.
Oh yeah, true.
It's not a smell like the living. It's a smell like death.
Yeah, it's like how in Walking Dead they'll paint themselves with like zombie guts because the zombies
Yeah.
by smell.
Everyone
Oh,
should
I-
just rub up against Grun before they go out.
No.
They'll be
All I
No
can
one is
imagine
rubbing up against
now.
Do
all I can
not grind
imagine-
the grund. Sorry, I had to get that
I'll
out
kill
there.
you. I'll kill you.
A surefire method to learn if a lich is occupying a dungeon. If that dungeon inexplicably has an export of Werther's originals.
I need to get them out of here. They keep fucking popping up. They're filling up my dungeon.
And that's
Oh,
how you know a
God.
lich is occupying the dungeon.
Tribble. It's like the Tribbles, but Werthers.
God.
The trouble with Werthers.
Yeah, you managed to find food stores and, slipping out. So that was the first investigation roll that you managed to secure. What looks to be enough food supplies for like 3-4 ships, at least to get to. What would be the nearest? Yeah, I think it would be the. Well, without me going and looking at my notes, digging them up, and wasting time, you're pretty sure you have enough rations for at least 3-4 boats, depending on how packed full they are, to get to at least civilization, hopefully outside of Modhur.
Yeah.
And so, what was the next thing you wish to look for? I know there was, you said magic items, potions,
Spell scrolls.
spell scrolls. Okay, so it would be one of two. You can either start, first look for like apothecaries, alchemist shops for potions, or, which would be, well, the rolls for that would be more for, what you get would be closer to more just potions.
Arcana
But-
would be useful there.
Yeah, or you could look for like specifically like there aren't many magic stores really. Modhur doesn't have that big of a enchanted. Well, actually no. Okay, so it actually would be one of the few places that would, because it has literally 2 magic academies right there on the map. I'm looking at them. So yeah, magic shop, you would be able to find some potions there, but not as many as just like, you'd find more scrolls and items there. So which would you want to focus on more? Alchemy shop or magic item shop. There's a chance you can find potions at the magic shop, but not as many as you could get at an alchemy. it would be your next
I'm
roll to focus on
leaning-
that.
Yeah, I'm leaning the magic item shop. I just think it's going to be more useful. What do you think, gang?
I mean, there's a lot of potential things in there that would really help. So,
Yeah, potions are good, but they're like they're not as varied as potentially magic items.
For all we know, we could find a wand of fireball in there.
Yeah.
Or a wand of stop bad guy.
stop bad guy.
Let's check the magic shop.
Wanda, fuck this undead dragon in particular.
Okay. So
It doesn't work the way
Allison.
you hope it does.
I almost said Fred, roll me investigation, but no. Grund. Go ahead and roll again if you want.
So we'll give him aid.
Get-
Yeah,
Yeah,
technically
get aided,
Grund.
motherfucker.
Yeah, you can get aided, but I would say Grund. Advantage on that, just being a wizard looking for a magic shop. He's probably. Yeah, Grund. You know the place where like one of the places you go to get like paper and inks and stuff, you know, and ingredients for your spells. You're. It's a little off. You know, Grund isn't like the big bargain kind of wizard shopper. He goes to the small little place with the cantankerous shop owner. Not as cantankerous as he, but you know, someone who knows quality. So yeah, little hole in the wall, and Grund, you're pretty sure that if the guy, you know, as long as he's not alive, that shop should probably be untouched and, you know, ripe for searching. And you were mostly right. As you get to this little shop, let's see. Let's roll a name for this guy. You get to Zuval's Emporium. Zuval, as you find him, he's still there, but no longer among the living. As you find him, seemed that the pack of ghouls had gotten to him, which might have probably been the preferable thing to get to him. Grund, you know, being a little pragmatist, as ghouls didn't seem very interested in taking, you know, raiding the store for anything that wasn't, you know, could have been eaten. So it's fairly gruesome, but Grund, you found the Emporium, and you go inside. Let's see.
Woo!
Let me write down what you get. I'll write it down in the loot hole. Well, mingle.
Wow. Poor guy. Looks like he
I don't
was
know.
some-
I feel bad
there.
when there's dead air and as I'm like typing stuff up as a DM.
That means we have to make bits.
Yeah.
You know,
this guy-
JJ,
you knew
that
this
would have
guy,
been a
Grund?
much better idea. I should have made him an undead merchant. Fuck.
Idea for next time.
Yeah, you'll
Yeah.
run into him later.
Yeah, he'll
Bright
be
and
back.
Tide.
We'll run into a suspicious merchant who keeps, you know, in the middle of zombie-infected territory. What you buying?
I mean,
It's like,
I'm
why are
game.
you here, and how are you alive? Trade secret. You gonna buy something or not?
Yeah. So you knew this guy, Grund?
Hmm.
Riveting.
Yes.
I tried.
is there anything interesting in here?
I'm writing it up.
I know. I'm just like waiting for TT to throw out some weird bullshit.
He holds up a bowl of those weird, like, hard candies that have, like, the wrapper that looks like a strawberry. But like a 60s cartoon strawberry.
Yeah, I know those.
There are these. These are always good.
What are those?
I mean, yeah, he's gonna
And they
like.
have circus peanuts.
He's gonna look at. Like, there's. He's got his helmet on, so you don't see him looking you up and down with, like, concerned disgust, I guess is the best way to put it. It's like, oh yeah, wait, you're old. You can have.
I
Yeah, those are
remember when
fine.
they first came out with circus peanuts. I was but a lad of.
Wait, they're peanuts. They didn't come out with circus peanuts.
Oh, you don't know what a circus peanut is?
No. Urdrin's like waving his
Circus peanut
hands
is
behind
not a
you.
peanut. A circus peanut is not a peanut. It's flavored
candy.
styrofoam. And I use the word
What?
flavored very generously.
Yeah, have you seen the, like, they almost look like marshmallow puffs, but are shaped like peanuts and, like, shitty, like, Halloween candy stuff? That's circus peanuts.
Kinda vaguely. Oh. Ew.
Yes. Oh.
Those things.
Ew. Disgusting.
Indeed.
Yeah, they're bad.
Sorry, I'm. Oh, that's
You
really
like
funny.
these? Grund?
I'm just imagining now Grund was a little boy and he went to the circus and one of the performers died and it was a formative experience for him. Forever onward, he was
That's
fascinated with death.
That was the first taste of evil that Grunt had, and he needed second.
He saw those beasts in their cages and he thought, this pleases my soul.
The circus peanut was the first cruel mockery of life that he encountered, and ever since then he's been devoted to.
Oh god,
Amazing.
just imagine a lich whose phylactery is a circus peanut and he just tosses it in with all the rest. Alright, find it.
It's the safest phylactery because no one's eating that shit. Not even the fucking ants will touch it. Everyone looks at the pile of circus peanuts and is like, oh, okay, it's not in there. Let's move on.
Yeah, we're not killing this lich. We're like banishing him because I'm not going near that shit.
Is it killing or mercy killing?
Spiteful killing.
Alright.
Very, very spiteful.
Sorry, I should have rolled this out beforehand before I realized. Because I didn't think we would be doing the scavenging run, although I should have thought of this. But it's fine.
You're good. JJ.
Yes.
You sound suddenly chipper.
No,
Yes.
I'm addressing you as a player. I'm trying to hear what you have to say.
What do you remember?
Bits. Pieces. Shadows on shadows.
You remember your old pal, Kita?
I do.
Shame.
Wow.
What? She knows she's not the best. Sorry, those are some of the memories that stuck around. Do you remember your boss lady that you and Krill, are probably gonna want to try and get out of the, Banshee's hands? What do you remember her? Is what I asked.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Hard
that's
to
something.
forget the face. Love was looking into mine when she killed me.
That's
Okay.
my bad.
This guy actually
I'm gonna
had some
go over
decent
here and
stuff.
pick up. I'm gonna go over here and pick up this thing.
So, Zuville's Emporium. There's a Stone of Good Luck, Ring of Water Walking, Potion of Mind Reading, Periaptive Health, Mariner's Half Plate, Jar of Beads of Nourishment, 100, count of 100,
100 beads.
Scroll of Arcane Gate, Death Ward, and
Oh.
Absorb Elements, and a Ring of Poison Resistance, a Folding Boat, and a Wand of Thunderwave. The Wand of Thunderwave, Grund, you actually find tucked under the counter.
It's
Like
It
the
was just
shotgun.
It's,
Yep.
it's the panic button.
Yeah, it seems he was trying to go for it when the ghouls broke in.
Yeah.
Well, the ring of water walking would be most useful on Grund.
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing.
God, just give it to him, and then next time when you have to cross the river, he just lays down, slam across it.
Hey, Grund.
Are you calm and
Head that.
reasonable?
Oh my God. Head that.
It's my weakness.
Tosses you. Tosses you the ring.
Ooh.
Yeah,
And,
the rings,
should help when you're-
the Ring of Poison Resistance, normally they do have a, but this one you don't.
I think I already used this.
Just-
Wait, so let me check.
Because, yeah, because I think being a blood sorcerer, you get that from. Or no, it's because you're a
Blood Sorcerer lets me
Haruto.
resist necrotic.
Yeah, but I think being a
lets me-
Haruto.
Yeah, lets me resist poison.
I would like the Ring of Poison Resistance, please.
Sure. You are the front line. You're the most likely to get bitten by a spider.
And
Yeah.
to be fair, most of the damage that took out JJ the first time when fighting his old boss was the poison damage.
Yeah. But now he's undead. So he doesn't have to worry about poison damage.
So, decent little haul.
Okay.
Mariner's
Yeah.
half plate. I don't know if anyone besides Krill could wear it, but I think you already get the benefits just being a Karkanos.
Yeah, my shell's probably better than it.
That'd be useful to give to somebody else, though.
Who?
But
Well, if anyone else
store the
can really use
beads with
it.
the food, and we can sort. We could
Yeah.
sort out those things later.
The
Don't
only
wanna
person
stay
who can wear
overly
it
long.
is Urchin. I'm not sure he wants to give up his stealthing.
Or Kloop.
Fair.
Oh yeah.
Because he wears split mail right now.
Yeah, what does Mariner's
I
half
think it's
plate
fine.
do again?
It's a half plate, but Mariners is when you get a swim speed, you're not hindered by water, and when you are knocked out, hold on, they updated it.
Because I already have a swim speed.
Yeah, they
It's like if
updated
you're
the
knocked out,
Mariners.
like when you're underwater, I think it like restores you or it brings you to the surface.
Oh yeah, in addition, if you start your turn underwater with 0 hit points, 1d4 hit points, the armor can't heal anyone again until the next dawn.
Yeah.
Because previously before the 5.5 update, it was when you are knocked out underwater, you float to the surface and are immediately stabilized, like a life vest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But this way you heal.
I'll pass on that because I have my my scale, my serpent scale armor that allows me
Yeah.
to use my full dexterity for medium armor. So
And no disadvantage on stealth.
exactly.
That is such good armor. I've wanted it on so many characters. Yeah.
I
So.
wanted that for Ellie so bad.
Mhm. So. Yeah, decent little haul.
Yeah. Parapet of Health. That just like that lets you
It reduces disease.
Um.
ah,
Oh no, they changed it. Requires attunement. While wearing this pendant, you can take a magic action to regain 2d4 plus 2 hit points. Once used, can't be used until the next dawn.
oh,
In addition, you have advantage on saving throws to avoid or end the poison condition to wear the pendant.
That's a little more
okay.
useful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Should
and
we
it
give
looks.
that to Krill too?
You can only have one more
Or
attunement
to
item.
or do we want to give it to Erdrin?
The
Krill
Stone of
takes
Good
more
Luck is
damage.
also attunement, but it is very useful. It gives a +1 bonus to ability checks and saving throws.
It does.
Yeah.
Stone of Good Luck.
Uh, I can have one more attuned item. Ring of Poison Resistance was not attunement, thankfully.
Nope.
The Parapet of Health
And it,
is
the
what
the
that's
ring
called.
of poison resistance looks like a snake coiled around, like a coiled snake.
Neat. Krill slides
yeah.
on like, I guess I'm gonna have to use his ring finger because the other fingers are too fucking big.
Yeah, and because it's a magical item, it does resize, but it looks like the snake
Okay.
like recoils and adjusts itself momentarily, like it's
Okay.
alive.
Yeah, he
Love
doesn't
that.
put it like he doesn't put it on the finger you think you'd usually put a ring on. Like if you weren't wearing if you're wearing a ring casually for just
Fashion.
looks. Yeah, he puts it on a different finger, which is a little weird. Like usually
Krill
the
is
fashion
all about
fingers.
the manners. Pinky up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Ah.
But
Potion
yeah,
of Mind Reading. What is? I guess
oh,
that
it
gives if you like
yeah
detect
it,
thoughts.
yeah it's just detect thoughts in a bottle.
Okay, that's just that can just go in a in our bag of holding.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah. Arcane Gate is a 6th level spell where you create 2 doorways up to 600 feet apart that you can pass between. And
fuck.
unless you're looking at the doorway head on, it's invisible. So, like, if you would look at, like, let's say, like, you're standing at one end of a field, you create the doorway facing you, and then you create a doorway facing the woods at the edge of the field. Someone that's in the middle of the field wouldn't see those 2 doors because they would be looking at the backs of them.
That's insane given our current mission.
Arcane Gate is an incredibly good spell, and I laughed when it showed up on the random roll list from.
I
Yeah,
can't
Kita
remember.
points
Go
that
on.
one out. It's like, oh, this is going to save our asses.
But the thing is, other things can use it. Like if they see it and you like try to retreat through it and the spell's still up, they can chase you right through it because it's just.
Oh yeah.
But you can reposition it as long as you're concentrating. It's a very useful spell. And there's a reason why a lot of I've seen warlocks take that for their arcanum just because it's such a useful situational one. But
Right, we'll get
yeah,
Arcanum one day.
so chickens.
So, gang, do we want to return with our spoils, or do we want to see if anyone has survived at the forge?
It is, yeah, it is getting later. This, navigating through the city and stuff, it takes time. So your pass without a trace would be over by this point, Arjun.
Yeah.
So it only lasts an hour.
So,
How late is it?
Few hour, like 2 or 3 hours until dawn.
Ooh, yeah, no, I think we should go back and get some rest before we assault the boat.
All those poor orcs have to fend for themselves.
Look, we have.
Well, to be fair, they probably do okay because if there are Yemgrid clerics there, they've probably got phoenixes helping them.
Mm-hmm.
Look, we can send them a message, and we'll
Jesus!
Ooh,
Fucking
just
Raven.
What the fuck was that?
something happened with Raven, I think.
Yeah.
Sorry, when I came back, I accidentally pulled the jack out.
Oh,
Fucking
it was just all the ambient noise, bass boosted.
Sorry.
Not gonna lie, I was crossing my fingers. The chickens, they finally did it.
So,
Okay,
so
how
I
far
was
away is the the
This.
The forge.
The
black
forge.
forge?
Yeah, you'd be about here now. It'd take you at least another hour to get there if you're going, avoiding patrols and stuff. But what were you saying, Raven?
I missed what Arcane Gate does. Sorry.
Oh, it creates two doorways up to 600 feet away, and unless you are looking at the doorway head on, it just doesn't show up. So, like, if two doorways are facing outside, opposite of each other, and someone's standing in the middle of them, they won't see those two gates. So,
Interesting.
from their point of
Can I-
view, they would just see someone disappear and reappear 600 feet away.
Can I make a suggestion of what to do with it? We use that to bushwhack the idiot on the ship.
Maybe,
Noted.
or
He's not
depending on
gonna
how we
ex-
can get to the ship.
He's not going
We
to
might also
expect a
wanna use it-
telefragging.
It's an
might
idea.
also
We'll
wanna
get
use
there
it-
when we get there.
Okay, it is an idea.
We're discussing it.
Yeah.
Hey, no. Does anyone have any animal messenger spell or anything?
No.
No.
Well, that's more. That's all the effort I got. Let's get out of here.
So, it will be
Sorry,
easier
Orc.
to retrace your steps. So, another group stealth check, please. So you all want to return to the temple? You're satisfied
Yeah.
with what you've gathered?
Would like to not die, yeah.
Okay. Stealth check, please.
Yeah,
if you want, Urgent, you can. Jeez.
Yeah, I think I'll use my last second level spell slot and pass without
Everyone's
trace
rolled
again.
that one at least once. What the fuck?
Yeah, what the fuck? This time I have to pick up Krill.
It's a
just
16.
fucking-
I did pass without trace again. I'm going to
Yeah.
get a rest,
Well, it's
so
a natural one. But
His
Gren did
fucking
get a
Yeah.
17.
His white ass shoulders just knock into a trash can or something.
That kind of is what happens as you go slipping through the alleys in between, market stalls that have been tossed over or trampled. Because you can tell there was a lot of chaos when the Night of Mist happened, because there were a lot of people gathered here. The festival was going on. And you can still see streamers up and about, the occasional torn poster that was, talking about, local events. And there is a moment where, Trill, you're kind of distracted as off in the distance, you see what you swear is a zombie of someone that owed you 5 gold from a card game last month. And you don't quite notice it as you stagger, as you shoulder check what looks like a stack of barrels. And if they were full barrels, they wouldn't have toppled. But no, they were empty barrels, so one of them tips over and clatters with a loud thunk. As you start hearing the rest of you hear the snarling of nearby undead as they hear
Hey,
a commotion.
here's what I do. I telekinetically pick up that barrel and fucking throw it in a different direction.
Okay,
If
roll
you're not going in.
yeah, roll your spellcasting modifier. So a charisma check.
Ah, natural 20!
Okay, so yeah, you pick it up and you wait as you like wait a second as you're like judging where to toss it, and you're like, oh yes, there. As you lob it over, um, and in the alley next, basically like like the thoroughfare that you guys had slipped into, um, or out of, uh, you lob the barrel over, and there is a louder crashing, and because of the, you hear the undead start peeling off that way. Yeah. So with that natural 20, you're able to compensate for the attention from the crit fail.
I
So
I
you
cast
go,
yeet.
yeah, you basically do this barrel empty,
Is barrel empty? Yeet!
and yeah. So with some quick thinking of the telekinesis spell, you are able to lob it off, and uh, you're able to scurry off as you get back to the docks, the Riverside docks. Um, Go ahead and roll another stealth check to try again. Grund, this time it will be easier. Uh, let's give Grund advantage on the stealth check because you have the Ring of Water Walking now.
Okay.
Because you can just lay on the water and have people drag you across like a, like a floaty toy.
Did not matter for Grund.
Krill and Urchin, could you roll me stealth checks real quick?
Yeah. Sorry.
No worries. It's just across the river. Oh, damn.
Come on, Krill. Come on, Krill.
What's funny?
A crit fail for you is a 14.
Yeah.
Higher than Krill's regular roll. But yeah, thankfully, it seems that the river, uh, without needing a perception check, you all rolled decently high enough because you still have the last half of the Pass Without a Trace going, so you're able to slip through the water and across the river again without drawing the attention. As JJ, as you swim past, you look down at the bottom of the river where the Lastodon bodies had dropped, as you see like now three of them down there uh, cleaning up, basically cleaning up the dead body, the dead Lastodons themselves, having a little cannibalistic bottom of the river picnic. But
It's a fine picnic.
and it provides enough of a distraction for you to slip past and onto the other side of the river. And last stealth check. This time, Urgent, your spell would have faded by now.
Yeah.
But since you guys are retracing your paths, the checks won't be as high as the DC isn't as high as the first time. Grand,
What's
it's up to you, my boy.
Well, sorry guys. It was a good run.
I son of a bitch.
So you go crossing. Hold on, let me. Oh wait, no, that's the wrong map. Wait, you didn't hear me say anything. So you're going through retracing your path as oh yeah, I guess I should have asked. What route were you taking? Well, I guess we already rolled, so it doesn't matter. Would you have taken the roads, the alleyways, or the rooftops again?
I think rooftops again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's served us well so, until now.
So, until now, as Grund, you're just like, I hate. You're just like, you're hating climbing across rooftops. It's demeaning. Or I don't know how Grund would feel about this, but
Yeah, what's your nat one, TT?
well, the net one was
He falls asleep. Snore.
it is way past his bedtime. He is elderly.
Oh my god.
No, you
So
motherfucker.
there is a moment where like you have to like yeah, okay, so this works. So there is a moment where the group has to hunker down in like some rooftop, like sitting area while you're waiting for passing undead to pass by so you can slip through. And so yeah, you have a moment to yourselves. What's going on? As Grun's kind of quiet. Just chat. Mingle, damn it.
Jesus.
I'm not sorry.
Yeah, no, you're
I-
good. You're good.
I have a diseased part of my brain that makes me spout Venture Brother quotes all the time.
That's fair.
It's fine.
Oh,
I'll watch such show maybe one day.
maybe.
If it's your type of
Yeah.
humor, it is great. But I can see why a lot of people doesn't click for them.
Rain, turn on, please.
No.
Clap on.
That's it. Alright, so, that was way too many claps. My brain exploded.
So,
So, once we get back, we're gonna get some rest before, everything goes down, I guess.
yeah. Hopefully, anyway.
Yeah, well, let's see what the hospital looks like when we get there. Might not be a pretty sight.
Well,
Gone for hours.
we're, we probably shouldn't, like, invite bad luck by speaking it out loud like that. We already got enough.
I suppose that's true. Once we get back, we'll rest. And tomorrow we'll work towards...
Speaking of resting, there's a moment where you just hear this uproariously loud old man snore as you all pale and turn to see Grun, who is slumped against this in this patio chair, head to the side, snoring. Old man just fell asleep in the chair.
Oh my god, what the fuck is wrong?
As you hear something apparently heard the snore.
Go
Time to
over.
run.
Shake Grund awake.
No, Krill just hoists Grung over his shoulder. No time to fiddle around.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Keita probably would have just choked him out right there.
CT, are you there? You've been quiet. I don't know if your
I'm
mic's
here.
or...
Have you not heard
Okay.
me snoring?
No!
Oh, no.
Oh. Mike, you failed me.
Sorry.
Your microphone just doesn't like your acting, I guess. I don't know.
It doesn't like me doing funny shit is what it doesn't like.
Yeah, I didn't mean
Yeah.
to take that away from you, JJ. Grund.
You didn't.
The
mic
microphone did.
Yeah.
But, so, you pick up Grund, you get shaken awake as you're forcibly picked up by a crab. Amelia Earhart all over again.
Well, that didn't
No,
help.
shut up!
Oh,
There's that nat one. As it's time to run.
running now.
I need people
Yep.
to either, unless you have like an ability you want to use, this is going to be a group athletics or acrobatics check. Unless you have a reason to like use another ability or like you use like a spell for something, that kind of deal. But Grund, I'm going to say Grund, you can skip making the check if Krill carries you, but Krill you would have disadvantage.
So I just have normal because I have
Yeah.
advantage on athletics checks because champion.
Yeah.
Not good at these, but there we go.
Here I'm not good at that, so here's what I'm going to do. Put a hand
15.
on Earth. Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah,
Hand on.
15's good.
I'm gonna use fucking dimension door and just fucking bam away from this disaster.
Okay, 400 feet closer to the temple.
He was like, I'll meet you guys up ahead. I'm not as athletic
Okay.
as you are. Just poof.
Okay, then in that case, roll me a stealth check. As
Oh,
you try
fuck.
to find someplace to hide while waiting for your friends.
13.
Okay. Okay, I was going to say the check for that won't be very high because you teleported 400 feet away. It's just, so. Okay. Thanks to decent rolls and a 30, you all managed to. Brund, it is not a comfortable ride as you're carried along on the broad back of Krill, leaping and bounding across rooftops. But you're able to look back as you see what looks to be a small pack of ghouls scrambling up into the little rooftop patio area that you had been resting, as they tear around and then spot you all as they give chase. Not at first they keep pace. They're not getting closer. Grund, if you would like, you can like fling cantrips at them or something, like try to drive them off. But between actually, yeah, what would you do if to like try to divert them? If you have any ideas. Or if you just want to trust
My
in your...
magic is not subtle, so
That is true.
We
let
have lost
these
subtlety.
fuckers deal with it.
Okay. So you go racing across the rooftops, occasionally having to drop down into an alleyway, and but panting and exhausted. About 5-10 minutes later, you're pretty sure you've given them the slip, as you hear other howls of ghouls in the city trying to actually no. Now, Kita, you don't have to do this, but the other four of you, stealth checks, please, as you try to. The athletics and acrobatics was to either see if you could outpace them or keep pace with them. Now let's see stealth checks.
16.
Try and lose them. Okay. JJ, let's see that 30.
Hey.
That's fucking hilarious.
What the fuck?
Okay. And Grunt, just because it's funny.
I'm doing a what now?
Stealth.
A stealth check. I like
Okay.
making Grunt roll those.
Yeah, you do.
It is very funny.
Okay. You are just Gecko clinging to Krill's carapace, just like, I hate this. But you uh, with Joshua's guidance, and actually Kita, you're actually the one who like all of you are trying like dip into an area and like trying to run, and Kita, you spotted them as all of a sudden the rest of you are like going in like racing down this like small little side street. Uh, all of a sudden the door pops open, Kita's there, and she's just like, in here, as you
Yeah.
go scurrying into like what looks to have been a like a little residential place, like a little residential home that uh she had teleported to the rooftop of. And but now as you wait inside, there's a tense few moments as you do hear skittering across the top of the roof uh, ghouls, but they don't seem to notice you as they run off into the distance, the howling continuing as in frustration as the hunt seems to elude them. So, you managed to,
Ooh.
that was fun. And
Everyone
you eventually,
dead?
oh, wait, go ahead.
Is anybody dead?
No.
Unfortunately, no.
We'll set the grunt down.
Did
Yeah.
you want to die, Grund?
This was humiliating.
Come on, we don't have time for pride. You didn't get caught by ghouls and torn apart. Just take the win.
Okay. So, you're not far from the temple. Yeah, actually, you don't have to do any more further checks as you are now in more familiar territory. You've probably scavenged these areas pretty thoroughly in the recent days. But as you're approaching, Kita,
Uh-huh.
can you make me a Constitution saving throw as you're walking through the mists?
Yeah. I can do that. 22.
Okay. Hold on, let me see. Okay, as you're going through, there are sections of the mist that seem thicker, and that's just, how mist works. Thicker areas of water vapor. But you pass through this, like, one fog bank or mist swirling up as Kita, there's a moment where you feel just this, like, wave of lethargy, almost like prickling at you. It's weird. Like, you felt where it's just like you've had moments of just like, oh, I feel exhausted, where like everything hits you at once. But that's always felt internal. This feels something prickling at you, but doesn't seem to find hold on your, leech slippery exterior.
Ugh.
Okay.
That's fucked up.
But
Like that.
JJ, you saw Kita's you hear like with JJ be like taking the lead usually, right?
Yeah.
There's a moment where you turn around as you see like Kita give this like heavy shudder as she passes through this mist. And you just watch for a second as you see that swirl of mist coil and then start creeping towards Urdrin as you realize that's not the mist surrounding you.
Well, he's not going to give any sign. He's not going to give any sign that he immediately notes anything. But he will use that ghost touch hook blade of his.
Urgent.
Yeah.
You see JJ suddenly just like flash step in your direction, the knife glinting. As he slashes down, roll damage.
Alrighty.
Okay. As you flash step forward, what kind of like colors do you think is like when he like expends his like the force, the mystical imagery of the dagger, like
I think it's
magical
like my
essence.
token. It's a teal, like ocean teal.
Yeah, so you see that familiar flash. Urgent, there's a moment where you're like, why is JJ trying to stab me? As it just seems like he's going right towards you, leaping through this mist. But as the knife slashes down, short of reaching you, but you see it carve through the mist, and the mist recoils, and you see that teal light kind of ripple through it until you realize it illuminates, almost Hollow Man style, a vaguely humanoid figure in the mist before it fades as it recoils in pain. Uh, as this mist seems to react as an undead to the dagger, JJ.
Mm-hmm.
You have a second. You have your attacks.
Gonna shoot a glance over to Kita. Vampire.
Can I attack it?
And well, JJ, you still have. It would actually be its turn. Erdrin,
Yeah.
Constitution save, please.
Okay. Why is it after me, by the way?
As you and Kita were the closest living.
Also, you're small. Maybe things can take you
Okay,
out
so you
faster.
resist it as this mist desperately tries to reach out towards you.
Can Krill go after it since he can hit intangible objects or
Sure.
things? Cool. So, yep. Because of the wraps, I can choose to strikes your choice deal force damage. Yeah.
Yeah, and force, for some reason, can hit incorporeal things because force is just D&D version of pure damage.
Hilariously, unless
Just
it
straight energy.
unless it says I can't grapple it. What the fuck?
Condition immunities, yeah. Condition immunities grappled.
Cool.
I
And
can I use
restrained.
Can I use my other attack?
Sure. As you try to go grab this mist, and it is like trying to grab mist. It seems to flow out.
There we go.
Well, talk about a reverse of numbers.
he is.
That was a palindrome roll.
Just check this real fast. You know what? I want to see if I can fish for a better damage. Nah, keeping the 12.
Well, I
I
mean,
can't
that would
choose.
have been
Like-
enough.
I can choose between it anyways. So yeah, I just you see just the massive claw come out. The first clack misses it because he kind of just misjudged where it was. He just readjusts. The just a massive widens even further and it comes close with a massive just like cacophonous crack as it just slams down on the mist.
Yeah, and it's not so much you're grappling it as almost like the pistol shrimp.
Mhm.
It's the force of your claw snapping shut that seems to shatter this little ripple of mist that it just disperses. Which Grund and Kita, you would both recognize this once JJ confirmed it was vampiric. This was a vampiric mist. Vampiric mists form when a vampire, sometimes when a vampire is slain by the sun during a, not full sunlight, but still killed by the sunlight, either in shade or, cloudy days. It is as dead as a vampire can get without being truly dead. Just all it is hunger.
Oh. So
It's not even
possibly it's a
minion.
vampire that died in the sunlight, but the mist kept it around.
Oh, that's awful.
It's not
Either
even a
that or
minion.
they brought it with them.
Don't do that to my wife.
God.
It's not even a
Why the
minion.
fuck
It's just a random hazard.
Yeah.
It is effectively a vampire ghost.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Let's raise a
that
toast
was
to the vampires go.
And actually, Kita and Grunge, you can both roll an Arcana check if you want, just for fun. Actually, JJ, you could too, because you now have a. Okay, Grunge, yeah, Grunge knows this. Kita, no, you don't know this. This
What?
is like, you're like, I didn't know this could happen. But Grunge, you would definitely know. The thing about vampiric mist, if it is like the one you've studied before, um, they, much like some types of vampires, for whatever reason, the mist cannot enter homes unless it is invited. But and that's like one of the things that the no the necromancer's research said, made fun of. It's just like the amusing thing is who would even recognize a mist as something you could invite. It is something you can avoid as long as you stay indoors during the nighttime hours, that kind of thing.
So there's already a vampire in here. Lovely.
Oh no, this was as you were walking the streets.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought we were already back.
No, you're like you're just about to get to it, but it seems the mist around it is hungry.
Gotcha.
Now tell me, why would there be vampiric mist around our temple?
Let's run to the temple.
I mean, there's the only source of life in Miles, so they
And
just gravitate there naturally.
yeah, and Grund, you would know that these things with that have a role, they have a life sense. It's not very big, but they can track the living very easily because that's they just all they want. They just want to siphon the life energy of the living because that's all they are anymore is just bodiless hunger. But although there are some theories that if a vampiric mist is successful enough at draining enough life and blood, that it may eventually reconstitute a vampire. But there's been no like confirmed incidences of that.
Not
But-
something most people want to study.
But stuff that the Academy Necrotic would have speculated on. But so you go rushing up to the temple, and as you round a corner, you see a ghoul standing at the door. As Kloop turns around, waves a hand. Oh, hey boss. Hey everyone.
We had a very normal time out there.
Yeah, normal. That's what normal was, I guess.
I mean, it is right now.
Been mostly quiet, just normal stuff. They keep coming out. Really persistent mist though. Just
Found some armor that you could use.
Grund, do you give Kloop the Mariner's armor?
Yeah, give him the armor. He's useful.
Ooh, so he gets an armor boost. And he has a swim speed now. Which I can't remember if I gave Kloop one before or not.
Yeah, let's touch base with the temple.
Yeah.
Distribute the necessary supplies. Like all the food!
It's oh wait. Kloop's armor might actually be equal with what it would give him.
Well, but it
Still-
would offer more benefits.
Yeah, he would at least get the swim speed. Because his armor class is. Wait, no, it would go higher because he has a shield. That's his armor with the shield. So yeah, he would actually have an AC of 19 now. If he's using a shield. Cool. We've got an upgrade. Fan favorite, Kloop. But, no, it's more like DM favorite, Kloop.
Hey. Fan favorite clue. I agree.
So, yeah, you go in and you can see that there is, it's very late. Most of the temple's asleep, but as you're going in, you do see that there has been already, evidence of people getting ready for evacuation. But your brother, one of the few times you actually find him, he's asleep in his office, and you'll inform him. Do you want to go talk to him, or you can just say you inform him?
I'm gonna leave him a note because he's actually asleep.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so yeah, the rest of you, you're starting to feel it. That was a pretty high, intense night, starting with the fountain and then going across the city and back. But you've gathered provisions for the possible survivors to attempt their escape. Captain Thorpe will be pleased. He's asleep. You can talk to him in the morning. But anything y'all wanted to do before we go for the next day? Before you take your long rest?
I can't think of
Nothing I can
anything.
think of.
Okay, and actually, Urgent.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm eating buns right now.
Oh. Actually, you know what? That reminds me. I'm going to BRB. I need a drink. So,
Fair.
break time, everybody, if you need to take a quick break.
Yeah. I'm just gonna look over the loot table again. With the loot hall.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I need anything from that hall, so
I'm gonna look over the wording on the parapets of health.
period.
Harriet.
It's a stupid
Wand
word.
of Thunderwave, I feel like one of the
It's a
melee
wand.
people should have.
So wand,
This is like,
anyone can use it.
Yeah, I'm saying one of you three melee should have it, just like as a, oh god, I'm surrounded, fuck you.
I'm not really hurting for movement or ways to get out of that situation, but
I mean, nobody is, and it's.
hey,
I'm
is
not
this
getting
not?
close if I can help it. Neither
Oh yeah,
is
it is
Grund.
character. Okay, what is the magic action? Should go. Poison condition. Okay,
And if you don't want it,
the Paradot of Health here is not super useful, honestly. It takes a magic action, which means it takes your whole action to do. Well, not your. It takes your action, so no attacks, no nothing like that.
yeah.
You just have your bonus
Okay,
and your
I'm back.
movement.
You said
Yeah, it's
Paradot
not.
of Health, so.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking at it. It's like it's not super useful because my action's better stabbing people, and if I need to heal, I can bonus action second wind, and I have more than one charge.
Yeah, not everything was like planned for the group. It was just literally I went to the Roll20 random
Yeah,
table roller.
like
Fair.
it's best used between fights, I think, as a little health boost, and a passive advantage on poison, which is fine. But for an attunement item, honestly, could do better.
I think giving the ring of water walking to Grund, who is the only one who can't swim,
Yep.
be a good idea
Yeah.
if we have to cross a river again.
Especially now
We
that
did
Kloof can
that.
swim too. Or, climb a ship.
It would probably be a pretty good idea so you don't have to worry about him falling in the water again.
I'd appreciate
agree.
it. And more importantly, the fans would.
Sure they would.
This is
Can't wait for
unrelated,
that.
but I really enjoy how many frogs dig with their ass.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait for that ring to kill Grun when there's like a fireball coming at us. We're like, dive underwater, and he just splats against the surface. Goes, oh,
bounces,
shit.
bounces on the surface like it's a waterbed. Well, I'm pretty sure it's not like it's not like Dungeon Meshi where you can't go underwater. It's more like you could choose.
Yeah,
think.
I get you. Oh, it doesn't say you can't, but it doesn't say you can either.
Yeah. But it's just really funny. It's just someone walking out on the water. And it's like, hey, what are you doing there? Nothing. Turn it off and you just slip under the water. But yeah, evening comes, or well, evening has come. It's early morning. You're probably all trying to find someplace to hunker down for the morning, night. Try to get some sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And Urgent, there is a moment when you're just on that cusp of sleep, as you're kind of probably like dreading. Probably dreading another glacier dream, when you feel the mildly obnoxious tip tapping of Wilbur's antennas against your cheek, like trying to get your attention.
Oh, wait. Hey. What's up?
But when you open your eyes, you see Wilbur, but he's not the one tapping you. As instead, you see a fairly large, by comparison to like normal ones, but smaller than Wilbur, a moth. With these that you recognize it is a moth that the caterpillars grow on the shadewood tree that the halfling enclave takes care of. And there's a moment where you're like, oh, what are you doing here? When you hear a voice suddenly come from its mouthless form. Because these moths, when they emerge from their cocoons, they don't have mouths. They only live for like a few days.
Yeah.
But
It's an animal messenger.
you hear this, yep, which is why I was laughing earlier when you were talking about trying to find a scroll of animal messenger, Kita. As Urgent, you hear a voice, a familiar voice of an ettercap. You hear the clicking, they don't have tongues, but the clicking tongue of an ettercap as you hear Groltez, the web speaker of the ettercaps that live alongside the halflings of your home village. Goes, Urgent, I hope you are alive. I was not sure if the webs was truthful in saying that you were alive. As you realize, this is a slightly different version of Animal Messenger. I'm kind of breaking the rules.
That's fair. DMs
As
can do that.
you recognize, as you recognize, this is one of Groltez's personal, almost not like familiar, but he raises these personally. Their silk is very, their silk is harvested pretty frequently, and he raises them. But the ettercap, you hear the voice. You realize you can speak back.
Oh, yeah. I'm okay. I'm not gonna say fine because I don't think anybody is.
No, you would be correct.
What's going on out there? I can't get close enough to look, like, see anything in. What's going on?
I wish I had good news, Urgent. The grove has been taken by the venom web. They carved down the tree. They carved branches off to make their staves and bleed it for their sap. They do not respect them like they should.
I kind of had a feeling that that was going to happen. I've seen them using them their staffs and making lamps that aren't right.
Yes, that was one thing I was going to bring up. We've seen their corruption of the necrotic beacons. They've they are trapping creatures from the shade in it, rather than having pure amber.
Oh, that's why they don't feel or look right at all. It's they're playing with some things that they shouldn't.
Immensely. Urgent. The web quivers with fear. It tells me that this mist will become like blood and sweep across the oceans if that dragon cannot be stopped. And as you realize, you know, the web that he speaks of, he is known as the web speaker. And part of the Ettercap culture that live alongside the halflings is their belief in the world web. That there are strands that reach out and connect everything and anything. Everyone and everything is connected through the world web. It's either the personal connections we make, the bonds between friends or family, or, the bonds of a nation, that kind of thing. And, or, like the bonds of nature, the food web, that kind of thing. And as the web speaker, they are kind of a, not prophet, more of an oracle kind of thing, where they can interpret the vibrations through the web, that, as they call it, read the nature of the world through it.
Yeah.
But and you've seen him cast some strange magics, but it's not your area of interest when it came back home. Your she's kind of a distant aunt. She is actually married to the Groltas, so he's kind of like an uncle in a weird way. But goes
Uncoracle. Uncle.
goes. The web speaks and says that you were close to the tangle at the center of it all.
Yeah, at the moment, I'm in the temple of Saint Sanguisuga.
That would make sense that would be a haven for the living in times like this.
Yeah, but I don't know how much longer that's gonna be. They took down some of the protections. It's mostly us keeping things out now.
That is fortunate news. But sounds safer than what those of us who are left, we hide in the jungle and use our knowledge of our home to stay 6 steps ahead of them. But,
well, I don't know if you can get here, but we have a plan to try to get people out on some ships. We have to take something down before that happens, but we might be able to get some people out of here. If you can get here,
Sorry, go on.
No, that was it.
Okay, because that is fortuitous news. I will tell those of us that remain this. We'll attempt to stay in communication, but
I'll
urge.
Yep, go ahead. Go ahead.
It goes urgent. One of the things that we've always feared, you know of those things, the insects, the ones we fight to keep in the shade. We are not there to keep them back, but the Ettercaps, they slaughter them as they enter our world. They loathe them. Even though they do not have a place in this world, it is not right what they are doing, but the web has revealed a possible path. You know the ones I speak, yes?
Yeah, you told me that sometimes shade insects try to come through. It's been a while since that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The shade is what they call the Shadowfell.
Yeah, there's some nasty insects that come out and try to like eat the trees and other things like that. I think.
Close.
Yeah.
They gnaw on the tree. They eat the sap. They're not if too many of them, that can be a problem to a tree. But normally they just feed briefly on it and then leave. But the problem is they like to eat undead. They're necrophages.
Yeah, they would be a pest if they could get out right now to the plan that's going on for this undead apocalypse. But normally we keep them back.
Yeah. So he goes, the Ettercaps slaughter them as they swarm, attempting to pass through. Perhaps part of their harvesting of the grove is to lessen the shade around it so they cannot pass through. But, and it shames me to say this, but the pattern reveals that maybe this can be viable.
Like
the web speaks and says that you slide towards a confrontation with the great worm itself. You may have allies upon that. Trust in the web. Urgent.
I mean, I always have. You've always never steered me wrong. I'll do my best. I'm not gonna let this happen without trying to fight back. Keep in touch as much as you can, and
Of course, Surgeon. Be well. Good luck.
good luck
Walk
to
the
you.
web untangled.
You too.
The moth kind of loses its intensity of the force of the spell and just kind of turns into a moth that flutters around before you let it outside.
Bye, little fella.
And it goes fluttering off into the night. So
He's gonna stand there for a second and like watch it.
I enjoyed my cameo.
The gears are turning in his brain, going, well, we could stop them from taking out so many of those insects before they get out. That would probably actually help now. I'll have to ask in the morning. Somebody else would know better than me.
Yeah. So I should say that I should have clarified this. He's not asking for your help in attacking the Eder caps because probably not going to be able to even get out there.
No, it's too far.
But the way he spoke, it implied that him and the other survivors of the enclave were going to be the ones to do something about it.
Yeah.
So he's basically saying, even though you might seem alone, just know that you're not the only one fighting.
You're doing what they can. I imagine if we cause enough ruckus here, they're gonna have to send more people from there, and they might have a better shot.
Oh, yeah, true. You have been taking out quite a few Addercat necromancers and warriors.
Yeah. Like, well, I'm gonna.
You even took out their leadership.
He's gonna prioritize targets now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a scary thing. So, that was something I was meaning to get to like last session, but felt better this one. Night passes as you finally do fall asleep, Erdrin. I guess I should say morning passes as you all kind of got in early, but the glacier calls to you all once again. Howling winds whip across you, threatening the terror it feels at your very skin or exoskeleton, whichever you have, as you're trudging through these snowbanks that build up around your knees, the blizzard just blowing against you as if trying to force you away from this massive spire that you occasionally see through the gaps in the wind. And that voice just constantly calling you on, urging you to move, to fight, to bring it peace. It earned this prison. It earned its rest. How dare these whelps try to wake it, use it for their own ends when they couldn't even begin to measure up, that they had to use its prison, not even free it. And it just comes almost like a ramble of just spite. And most of what it says you forget as you wake up shivering in your wherever you bunked down for the night. Even you, Krill, these dreams seem to seep through your defenses. And JJ, they even creep through yours as you are sitting there in your silent meditations, no longer able to sleep, but seemingly still able to dream. And y'all get a long rest.
Yay.
Woo!
So, yeah, it's later morning, to get your full rest, but there's signs of people getting ready. The food's been, the provisions are getting ready to, ready to transport. Or you hand them over. Actually, it would just be easier to hand them the bag of provisions in it.
Yeah. He
Probably
does
the
grab a
easiest way to
handful of
transport them.
beads of nourishment.
Oh yeah, I figured the group you guys were holding onto them or something. I mean, well, you might not need them. No spoilers, but
we could take a few of them each just to have them, just in case we get stuck here without food for a bit.
We'll scavenge more. The city's not completely bankrupt yet.
And so, Urgent, you have anything to tell the group, or keeping that to yourself?
As soon as he wakes up, he's gonna go downstairs and he's gonna
there's like a little communal cooking area where
get everybody
the
gathered.
soup line is.
He's gonna get everybody gathered in his party, and he's gonna go, well, I have some news. I know at least you, Grun, know that the Shadewood trees is where my conclave is, and we keep them and sell the sap and the wood for your beacons.
Yeah, and Greg, you would know that the Academy Necrotic had like a contract with the Enclave for the Grove.
So they are taking over out there and cutting down all the trees and like corrupting the lanterns with part of the shade. Like they're putting creatures from the shade into the lanterns.
And Greg, you would remember, it's like, oh yeah, that would track putting insects in amber.
But they're also trying to keep those insects at bay because you know they eat undead, right? So whoever's left out there of my people, which isn't a lot as far as I can tell, they're going to try to stop them from releasing the insects. Stop them from keeping them from coming out of the shade. So I'm just saying there might be like a swarm of insects suddenly eating all of the undead. Don't worry about that. That's good. At this point,
It's like that doesn't sound so good to me. He's not there, but once you tell him, he's just okay.
Are you sure?
I mean,
Suddenly
Right
telling
before
him it's like,
Kloop is devoured messily. It's just not the bees.
they're trying their best, but it's kind of a mess out there. But there might be something that they might be able to do out there.
That would be good. At least give them another thing to worry about.
Yeah, and it's mostly ettercaps, so if we can weed down their numbers enough, they might send some of them here and weaken their position over there. I told them we were trying to open up the bay to get out of here, and there's plenty of ships. Plenty of room on the ship anyway. But if they can't get here, I'm not going to get on that ship with you.
What do you mean?
I mean, if it's time for us to go, and you have an opportunity to leave, I'm not going to take it.
Why?
He's going to turn and look at you and go, look, I might have wanted to get out of here, and I still kind of do. I don't really relish the thought of dying and coming back as an undead under whatever the fuck is going on here. Sorry, JJ. Not meaning to be insensitive, but
I understand.
I'm just saying if you all get an opportunity to go, I will not take it. So,
Krill is going to nod slowly and then sticking with the little guy.
he's meaning that he's not gonna take off and leave the rest of his conclave to just like die without his help. He's gonna try to go and help them as best he can if this ends.
Yeah. If we don't die, it's not a bad place to go.
I don't expect anybody to stay for me.
Staying for you. You're gonna die here one way or another. May as well take a few with me.
That's all. That I mean, I guess I kind of expected that from you. To be honest, you you have a pretty personal beef going on, so I understand that.
Shrugs a bit at that and just not much worth living for here. But there's a lot worth killing for.
True enough. That's all I wanted to say. So, just saying, if you get the chance to go, and I'm not there, just go.
Do you?
I'm not saying this till I hurt anybody. I'm not trying to hurt any feelings. It's just, this is... This is my decision. And it's how I feel like I should go out. If that's what it comes to.
So, you want to die here?
No, I don't. But I also don't want to run if I can... If my being here can get a few of the people that I've known my entire life out of here that can't fight as good as I can.
Yeah. It's not necessarily I want to die right now. It's like
I
I'm
know.
staying even
I
if
know.
it kills me.
I know.
I'm trying to understand it.
Esquita. Oh, okay.
Right? Is that what he's like
That's
getting at?
that's what he's getting at. Yeah.
Like I have a job to do and I don't care if it kills me. Gotcha.
This is you've all been really interesting to hang out with these last couple weeks. But you have to understand that I've known everybody there since I was born. Ain't personal that I don't want to go with you now. It's I was kind of hoping that they had run and gotten away before anything had happened, but that didn't appear to have happened. I was delusional, trying to comfort myself, I guess.
Oh yeah, that's something that I probably should have mentioned, but above game, the Ettercaps attacked the Enclave before the Night of Mist.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, they probably started there.
Need their supplies and whatnot, but yeah, no, JJ understands completely.
Tito's trying to process caring about your more than a single person. What?
This broke your brain a
Use
little
that
bit.
little leech brain and put together. It's like, wait, family's important to me, and this person has more family than me. Wow.
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 He doesn't even know how much of that
Eventually
family
became
is left.
Yeah, Kita's expressed how much she would give up to keep her brother alive, so I'm sure she has some frame of understanding.
Yeah, but just like he's saying, this is to an extreme degree.
Yeah, and I'm sure Grund Ranzelcraft has people he cares about.
Himself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And, and also the dude in his mirror.
Yeah, that dude is handsome as fuck.
No, fuck that asshole. He's not me.
Oh, so Grund is like a dog.
Grant fails the mirror test.
A senile old dog.
High intelligence, low wisdom. Oh my god. Okay. Oh.
So,
Who's that?
I'm sure one time Grund would just grip the mirror as like, understand, you are not me. You are a reflection. You do not exist without me.
Oh my god.
Reflection flips him off.
If it could, I probably would.
It's the scene
Yeah.
of the Grinch arguing with his own echo.
Echo.
Yeah. I'm an idiot. You're an idiot.
You're an idiot.
That's just what it's like to have mental illness.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
that's all he wanted to say, and he...
Change your mind.
No, I'm afraid you can't. I was deluding myself, thinking I could leave and feel fine with it. I do have to say, though, I'm not being facetious when I say that it was nice to get to know most of you.
Thank you.
Kita.
pointedly not looking at Grund.
You were adequate.
God will just assume he's included.
I appreciate that you think so highly of me, Grunt. For him, that was a compliment when he said you're adequate.
Yeah, Grund can recognize an expert killer.
You've created many undead. Good job.
Good job. Well,
So,
let's go kill a ghost pirate. And stop having these feelings. That would be great.
Yeah, I don't think we have to roleplay it out, but let's hash out a way to signal people to get on the boats.
This would
I'm
be a
doing
good.
little.
This would be a good time to say that I have the daylight spell.
oh, nice.
Daylight is yours to command.
So I think people would be
I
able to
got
see
that
that.
one.
I'm rejiggering my spells a little bit in preparation because long rest.
Mhm.
And also, like 90% of my attacks are necrotic.
Not everything is resistant or immune. Just something.
No, but I need options.
Yeah.
It's nice to have at least one non-necrotic spell when you're fighting undead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they don't all resist it, but a decent amount do.
I'm speaking
Or-
as somebody who played a warlock with his only damaging necrotic spells.
Yeah, or that's how Vask felt when it's like facing the crawl. It's like, oh, most of you are immune to psychic. What do I have that's not psychic?
Mm-hmm.
So I have the daylight spell that would basically act as a flare and also keep at least vampires away. So we could say is when the sun like appears on the ship, you can run and get on it.
Yeah. Do we want to use the gate scroll to get the people out faster and more efficiently, or do we want to use it to ambush the idiot on the boat?
The idiot on the boat may come to us.
So that's kind of the only problem, is he can very easily move out of range if he doesn't feel like messing with us.
You did see him disappear into like a watery portal.
Like it's my only, like, I would say using it to evac the people is better. However, this fucker doesn't really play by our rules, and his entire ship just kind of vanishes sometimes.
Yeah, I would not want to be on board his ship when he decides we're going under.
We don't really have much of a choice if we're going to fight him.
Yeah, I think that's something we need to be expecting regardless.
Yeah.
Do you have water breathing, Grund?
Just water walking.
Got water walking. I don't got water breathing.
He's fine. He just stands on top of the water as the ship goes under.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, you too, you, and walks off.
Don't worry. We're not gonna let fan favorite Grun die.
Okay, I so hope. It gets more obnoxious every time.
I just
It's working then.
At the very end, Grun is
know.
like, I survived, and the entire party just curb stomps him out of nowhere.
So
The end of Death Proof.
I don't have any way to breathe underwater, but I have enough constitution that I could probably swim back up with my speed.
You can last like a number of rounds
Yeah.
equal to your con score or something ridiculous like that. So
I should be fine.
Yeah. Just diving beetle it.
Because I have a swim speed, and my normal speed is 50, and I can dash, so I think I'm fine.
yeah.
If I need to get out from underwater. I could go fast enough to get myself to bends, that's the only problem.
You know what? You might be able to find someone in the temple that might be able to cast water breathing.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
You know what? Someone roll a persuasion check.
Hey, brother of mine, we're risking our lives. Does one of you guys know water breathing?
We live in a water world.
I hope
Well-
someone does.
I don't have enough persuasion.
I'm just asking my brother.
Well, clerics can't learn water breathing, pick up water breathing unless it's a
Yeah,
the
but,
main spell.
Or just like, do
yeah,
you
but
know
just asking
anybody?
if anyone here does.
Well, I know. Persuasion check then.
My charisma is my lowest
I'm not
stat.
saying you're persuading your brother. I'm just saying this is trying to talk to people and find out who might know that spell or have an item or whatever.
Okay.
23.
Damn.
23. Okay. Kita, your brother's like, don't have anything like that myself, but go talk to so and so. They handle, like intakes of people. They would they're the ones keeping track of people. So you go talk to this other priest and oh yeah, think so. They point you to a what was water breathing, the spell. Oh, it's their level. Yeah, you find what looks to be like one of the people who worked at the academy, arcane, and a wizard, lower level, but they're like, oh yeah, I think I have, and they pull out a scroll of water breathing.
Good job, kid.
Yeah. So
Two of our party can't breathe underwater.
That's why I always keep one on me. And, he's a human, so he's like, I understand. And he hands it over. And
Much
yeah, good thing
obliged.
about water breathing is it lasts for.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
at least you
And
have
run,
that.
Bertrand. It's your lucky day.
Oh, really?
And Wilbur.
And Wilbur, it's your lucky day.
Well, that's handy.
Wilbur. Yeah, I was a student from the Academy Arcane, so. I'm pretty good at getting stuff. Comes with the life.
All right. Well,
You had
When you
you
when
had
you're
water breathing written down in your old spell book that's at your place that is like somewhere in the city that you can't get. It's just I didn't have it with me.
Oh.
I just didn't think it was going to be useful.
yeah, when you grow up on the streets, you have to learn to make do. Sometimes
Yeah.
that's finding the people who got what you need.
And
That might be the most she's talked about her backstory, besides the fact that she cares about her brother.
yeah, you have an easier time getting the family background out of him than her.
Yeah. Oh no, you all are getting to her!
Well,
I mean, we
As
know
for-
Grund is getting to her.
as for how we approach the pirate situation, fighting out in the water's probably not the best idea because he also has a ghost whale.
How do we lure him in enough for him to
Yeah.
actually engage?
Oh, I think that won't be difficult.
Oh, are you
Okay.
going to use yourself as bait?
Yeah.
I mean, he is the bait on the hook.
That's
Come fight me yourself, you nerd ass bitch.
1v1 me, bitch.
come over here, you bitch ass motherfucker.
You want to be a death
You
god?
pissed
Prove
on
it.
Death's wife.
So,
God, no. Wait, Death's wife is life. Don't piss on life.
don't piss on life.
He's
Life
undead,
needs
so he
lemons.
did.
Uh,
The DM didn't like that.
Negative inspiration. I give you disadvantage on the next roll.
no, on a roll I choose.
Yeah, on a roll I choose, disadvantage.
Wait, I think that's actually something you can do, that a storyteller can do in Monster of the Week, but it's like I always forget to do.
But yeah, no, I don't think getting him to come to us will be difficult. In that case, the dimension door may benefit the refugees.
Dimension door?
The gate
Arcane gate.
scroll.
Yeah,
Oh.
because it wouldn't be connected to you or any of us, so it doesn't have to worry about concentration or shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the priests
you need
could
to
do it.
concentrate on it.
Yeah, no, one of the
You
priests
need
could
to
do it.
concentrate on it, but
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Like, we can offload that.
So
Which, although Kita,
yeah,
you haven't asked your brother what he's gonna do.
yeah, that's actually something
But,
supposed to do before we head out.
So, sorry, continue with the JJ bait idea.
Yeah,
Discussion.
no. People don't fight smart when they're mad. And
What are you gonna say
Quintus
to him?
Hollow, the only reason he joined this plan is because he wanted Noct to respond. I'm the response. I'm technically the reason he's here.
How does JJ say that in character, though?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, let me think about it.
Anyways, how much longer do we normally go? I've lost kind of track because
About
of
half an hour.
About half an
Um,
hour,
that's
yeah.
what I thought. Okay, that'll be enough to set up for next time.
next time on Mists of Motor.
Not yet.
Mom, let's tune into Mom.
Mom's on. Mom's
See
on the
what Mom's
TV.
got going on.
Good. Lines that could have come from Futurama.
Music.
Oh God, I just Jordan Ranselcraft is like the necromancer dude version of Mom from Mom's Robots, but without kids.
Hopefully.
Without kids, nobody fucked that man.
That has been unfortunately proven incorrect.
Hey,
Yeah.
just because they had a relationship doesn't mean they fucked.
They did.
No, I refuse.
Just look at Madame Shura and tell me she did. Fuck.
No, she fucks, but she didn't fuck Grund.
No, I'm the DM. Yeah. Sorry, TT.
That's fine.
Sorry, Nora.
Run doesn't. Hey, if I haven't gotten to do it, this fucker doesn't.
So
I don't get a goth mommy, neither does he.
you know, I've said this off camera, I guess, but TT, the only reason Madame Shura became an NPC was because you drew the maiden
The
card
tarot
during
cards,
the
yeah.
tarot.
Yeah.
But JJ.
Just a moment.
Okay, sorry. I guess. I don't know.
I'm still looking through the loot real
Brother.
quick.
So, brother. Oh yeah.
While we
Okay.
wait for JJ to put his words together. Okay, here we go.
Yeah. It will be no problem bringing Quintus Hollow to us. After all, he's the jealous sort. I'm here to replace him.
What?
Oh, okay. So
Like,
We
take his
just-
vote?
does that mean we just have to take you down to like the shore and you yell at him?
Only one way to find out.
That's incredibly vague.
It's more than we had.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's gonna gesture to JJ like, you don't think he knows what he's doing?
The
No, you got
only
a point, you got a
reason
point.
Quintus is part of this mess is that he wanted a response from Noct. Well, here I am.
Yeah, that would do it. Well, one problem solved. Let's go fish up a pirate.
Before we do that, since this is gonna all be moving pretty quickly, I need to check with my brother and see what his plan is, especially with the blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
come on.
So I will say that the people here, they do need a little more time in mass, but they are they have been working today. But it's still people getting ready. Like, okay, who has sailing experience? Can you do this? People are
Yeah.
organizing still.
It'll take us time to get down to the beachfront anyway.
Yeah.
I'm just saying this probably won't be happening until this evening with making sure everyone's ready, because there are still people who are slightly injured who need to make sure they can go, and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I say, well, the people are fleeing this way. That we come down here
hold
and
on, I
force
need
the
to go back.
confrontation here.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Erdrin is going to quietly ask around while this is happening if anybody has a scroll of Animal Messenger. If you can.
Animal
Talk to that
Messenger.
student. Might have
I
one.
have something like that, and I bring out a horrifying little like owl pellet that's moving.
Ugh. It just had to be owl pellets.
What is it?
It's a joke. I don't actually have a spell.
Well,
It's a horrible little thing.
Yeah, so let's see. Animal Messenger, Bard, Druid, or Ranger, 2nd level. Okay,
it's not something I took because I didn't
Yeah.
know if it was going to be useful or not.
I mean, that's fair. Although, yeah, Kia, if you want to do another persuasion.
Well, he was going to be quietly doing it himself, and his
Oh,
persuasion
if
is
you
not
want.
that great.
Okay, well, because it would be going for other people who are like, rangers or druids and such. I'd say, yeah, you could try that. It won't be a super high DC because you'd be like, okay, I can tell by the boots on your, or the mud on your boots, you know what you're doing, that kind of thing.
And 13.
Okay, 13? Yeah, that'd be enough because it takes you most of the day, but you do find you find someone that's a one of the hunters that goes out into the woods, and they're like, oh yeah, here they would pull out they're like, this is actually like a once a day thing, and it's a little stone whistle that has like a carving of a bird on top of it, or like in it, on it, and it goes, works once a day.
Okay, well, I only needed to work the once. And
I mean, he goes, and this guy, he's just like, I've heard and seen what y'all have been doing for us. Keep it.
Alright, sir. I mean, we're hoping to get you out of here, and I don't think I'm going to be leaving.
Well, I hope that's not true for you not leaving, but yeah, just it'll be fine.
Alright. Thank you.
So you have a whistle of Animal Messenger.
He's gonna
Yeah,
because
it's
he's
basically
already
you blow it and an animal shows up to carry the message.
he's all ready to go. All he has to do is JD just has to go, okay, we're ready to march down to the fucking beach now. So he's gonna send a message saying that we're going after the pirate now. Probably a couple hours.
Oh, so here's the thing, just as an above game thing, so summoning quote unquote summoning the swarm, you can either do that, once. So I'm just gonna say you can save it for, you can use it for this one. It will definitely help, or it might be something you might want to do when a certain dragon is in the air.
He's not telling them about it for them to summon the swarm. Does anybody
okay.
want to get onto the boat and?
Oh, okay, my bad.
I got it was a little confusing. No, he's telling them that we're gonna be taking out the pirate that is preventing the ship from leaving. So if anybody that isn't combat ready wants to try to take their chance and get out of here, that's what's going on right now.
Okay. Sorry, I went into Baldur's Gate DM warning pop-up mode there for a second.
I gotcha.
It's fine. It's good. It's better than just assuming what we meant and going through with it.
Yeah.
I know it's not summoning the swarm.
Definitely a sort of insect.
It's summoning the people who would like to leave if they can get here.
Okay. And so Kira, you're going to go speak to your brother.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And He is out and about, helping people get ready. Helping, directing efforts and stuff. Still looks tired, but he looks like he needed that bit of sleep he had. You're not sure how long he actually, but
Hey.
this. Oh, hello, Kita. Thank you again for the supplies. That's going to be life and death for them.
Yeah. She hands him some of the beads of nourishment that she's set aside for herself.
Oh,
Here, these are some extras.
you
These
know
are
what? Do you
for
mind?
you.
Okay, here. He takes one. He goes, I haven't been able to get down to the kitchen yet.
Oh my gosh.
Not the full body taste of blood, but I already feel refreshed.
So,
So, kind of laughs as you both go so at the same time.
yeah.
Typical of twins.
Yeah. This is it, huh?
What do you mean?
We either make it out or we don't.
Oh, and he kind of like, excuse me, I need to go handle something. As he like passes off like whatever he was like working on, like half attentively while he was talking to you. He goes, "Let's go for a moment, Ida." And you guys step aside, a little more private. Um, he goes, I'm not going.
What? No. No.
You're not gonna tie me up and put me on a boat, Kita. It's not.
I could.
And he kind of narrows his like dozen or so eyes at you, in just
Look, I
that
don't
way
know.
of just
I
like,
don't know if I
no,
could.
no. It's like it's that look of it, a sibling assessing another sibling's threat. Like, I know you pretty well, so, but then he goes,
You're going.
if think
Not
of it
going.
this,
Are you
Kita,
serious?
Kita, think of it this way. If I go with the relic, or with the what would be the term? Well, it'd be literally a reliquary. Because if I
Yeah.
go with a reliquary of the blood, I don't know if there's like a specific term for a container for blood, but yeah, reliquary works. Um, that will just paint whatever ship I am on a massive target. He will drink that ship dry as an appetizer or a chaser. He might mix it. Who knows?
Then, then.
No,
But
listen,
I thought.
Kita, please, just a moment. Let me finish. As he goes, follow me to the office, please. And short way to slither, but you go in. He goes,
Yeah.
the blood has to survive in some way, and it will. But we have to convince Verminash that the blood is here, so he stays here, and he doesn't drink the ships dry, hoping to find it. If he knows that that
Okay.
I am staying here, keeping it here, he won't go after them. But it's
If you
only going to
go.
be a majority of the blood here. As he kind of gives you this look of like, almost like a sly grin, Haruto's version of a sly grin. He goes, I'm not going to be the one who carries the reliquary off these islands. My disciple, the other disciples are. You wouldn't call them my disciples because he wasn't that high up.
Yeah.
Because the other disciples of
disciples.
Sanguisuga will. The blood will spread. It will get to where it can possibly drops will go. They can, if enough can be portioned out, with enough left here to draw Verminash, where we maybe can destroy it with him. If you would join me, sister, then I think we can.
Ooh. Y- Let me. Let me. Let me get this straight. You're giving some small amount of the blood to your fellow acolytes, and they're going to escape with everyone else.
Yes,
You're going to stay here as with the majority of the blood as bait
the worm on the
for
hook.
Verminash. It's not funny.
Never is. All right, he goes. I don't do jokes.
Shit, yeah, you don't. You were never good at them when you tried either.
My bedside, what's the bedside
Bedside
manners
manner.
is have always been much better than yours, though.
I mean, it's not hard.
Mm, you said it. Kind of ribs you,
I know what I said.
but
And
so,
you're going to stay here with the majority of the blood as bait, and you want me to stay here with you and fight Verminex and destroy the blood in the process.
or delay him long enough until we destroy the blood and he loses interest, or he may kill me just out of spite because
You're
I'm
not.
a disciple of Sanguisuga.
Fuck.
Kita, this city is dead, and I don't want my order to die with it.
No, I know. I don't. I'm not. You know who I am. I don't want this, but I don't want this to die either. Just because I didn't join the clergy like you did doesn't mean I don't understand
I know
what
that,
this
and
place means.
I know that. I'm not saying it. You wouldn't have been here defending it even if it wasn't protected. I know there's good in you, Kita. You don't have to keep trying to deny it.
Mm. You kidding me? I'm a cold, heartless bitch.
Sorry, what was that?
No, you kidding me? I'm a cold, heartless bitch. Trying to make a
Yeah,
deal
but
with the
I'm your
hag.
brother. What's that?
Trying to make a deal with a hag.
Is this news to him? I can't remember.
Um, it might be.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
goes,
because she told the others about it, but not him.
yeah. He goes, okay. Yeah, you said something about hags were were what stole the cargo in the first place.
Yeah, I've been talking to one, the survivor.
Again, I'm not going to insult your intelligence, so you should know how precarious that relationship would
I
be.
know how hags do. I
I'm not insulting you. I know you know this.
look. You're the person I care about here. I I was I offered to join her, make a new coven.
He's kind of silent for a second, as if he's about to choose his words carefully.
Yeah,
He goes,
and it's look.
"They always did say
Only
you would
thing,
be a witch." He kind of says, like, in a like distant, nostalgic kind of voice, as if remembering back. Because yeah,
yeah,
your shared blood abilities as youth, kind of living on your own, just the two of you for a while. Uh,
yeah,
that got some attention from people.
Son of a bitch, the
yeah.
school
I
bullies were
fucking
right.
yeah. I know. I
Akira,
don't care. I
I,
don't care about
I,
like I. I care
Akira,
about you and maybe this little gaggle of freaks who I've joined up with, maybe. But
Akira, there is no judgment. I mean, maybe okay. Well, honestly, a little bit of judgment, but I understand. You don't have to defend yourself to me, Kira. You never have.
yeah, why are you such a fucking good brother?
Well, kind of
I,
shrugs.
you could have been an asshole, and this would be so easy.
He kind of laughs. He goes, "Well, someone's got to balance you out, you know."
Yeah,
Kind of
I guess I do.
like you don't know if it's like conscious or not, but his hand kind of goes and he touches the symbol of the caduceus, which is the two leeches twining around the staff. Which
Yeah. Oh,
you remember the healing staff, which is that same symbol. It was a gift from him.
oh.
But and
None of
you
her
know,
eyes are
because
not meeting him.
yeah, because I'm not. It wasn't intentional for the siblings of Kita and Himaz to so eerily reflect Sanguisuga and Coagula. It's a little odd.
Yeah, they really
It was a little
have.
coincidental. It wasn't planned.
No, but it's honestly, I fucking love it.
Mhm.
Except, a healthier relationship.
Yeah. I mean, so that's the thing. They were perfectly fine. They were, the stories say they were very close brothers. They were traveling the world together when they found the dying god. It's just one gave into temptation and a sippy became like a keg stand.
It's just fucking
I
call the void gets you every time.
But yeah, Kita, I'm proud of what you've been doing here, uh, helping people, helping me. Place would have fallen without you and your group.
I'm a bitch. I'm not heartless.
Yeah,
Oh
and
shit.
I know,
She's like, there's a look of like, oh god,
and I
I'm not
know,
heartless.
and he goes, "No, you're not." But, and I know, I don't, can't, I can tell the guilt weighs on your friends. That's what they are, Kina. You gotta be honest with yourself. Um,
Except Grand.
yeah, he's
Like, I trust him more than when this started, but I also
I'll be
part of that
honest,
trust
if it
involves
wasn't for the
trusting.
whole crisis, he would not be here. I would not have let him in the temple.
Yeah, no. Look, like I said, I trust him more than when this started, but part of that trust is trusting that he will take advantage of this situation if he can. But I guess here I am trying to do the same thing.
Yeah, yeah. How dare you judge fan favorite Grund Rancelgraft?
Get out of here!
So he goes, I'll do what I can to help with the evacuation, but I'm going to stay here, Kira, and I hope we can stand side by side. With your friends, too. They would be I'll be honest, they'll be a great help. I was kind of hoping that they would be there by implication.
Well, Erdrin's not leaving. His family's here. Whatever's left of it.
He did strike me as a local. But there's a lot to do, Kita. I'm sorry, I just noticed the time. Because
Look, listen.
mm,
If it comes
Mhm.
down to only one of us getting out of that fight, you have more good to put back out into the world than I. Not saying,
we're not going to
sacrifice you
finish
or
this
whatever.
conversation because I don't.
No,
You
I'm
can't
not
make
saying
me
sacrifice me,
promise
but
that, Kita. And he goes and he goes like he's gonna give you a big hug, hesitates because he knows he hates it, and then lunges forward to give you one anyways.
no, you know what? You know what? When he hesitates, he gets telekinetically pulled into a hug.
Yeah. So yeah, he's like,
You fucking beating heart idiot.
I'm not the one crying, am I? And he hugs you
Oh,
tighter.
shut up! Shut up!
So, yeah, it's a sweet little moment to end. Hmm?
Oh, so are we ending there?
We could. That would be a sweet little, oddly sweet moment
Yeah.
for this kind of.
Yeah, actually, I'm
And
down
we
with that.
can kick off to next session with going after Quintus Hollow.
Okay. Hi.
So yeah, we're done.